Hello and welcome to Build Up to a Good Game. We're now in 5 minutes away from kickoff at Selhurst Park as it's Crystal Palace against West Ham United. A few changes to West Ham's starting 11 compared to the team that faced Bayer Leverkusen on Thursday, but we'll get official confirmation of that team in a handful of minutes. Gonzo, how is oneself?
Good. Yeah, good. Looking forward to it, mate. How about you?
Yeah, looking forward to it as well, actually. Obviously, win goes 6, so it's quite a pivotal game, but because my expectations regarding qualifying for European football next season are quite low, it feels not necessarily the pressure's off per se. It's almost like there's nothing to lose as such. It's like either, again, quite a bit of hope from the match, or it continues as we are, which is we're not getting European football next season. So it's sort of like almost like a good feeling going into the game, because obviously Thursday there was a lot at stake. Fulham felt a lot more at stake last weekend as well. So for this one, actually, I'm pretty chilled about it. Doesn't equate to being confident or that, but I'm quite laid back and looking forward to the game and hoping for 3 points.
Yeah, I think we've got a really interesting scenario today, listening to what David Moyes has said, which is, I've not heard him say this too many times. In fact, I'm struggling to think of a single example, but I'm willing to be told that there was one or two. We certainly don't hear this all the time. He said we probably need to win every single game. Now, armed with that information, it leaves him with only one choice, and that's to try and win every single game. So I'm really interested to see how he plays this. There's no caution within that statement. There really isn't. And so he has to go for it. He knows he needs to go for it. He himself has spoken about a 4th season of European football. And whilst we don't know whether he's going to be here next season to be present, if were we to get it, I think he wants to claim it. He wants to claim that for himself, as it were, to even if he does leave, to turn around and say, well, I left having done as much as I could by delivering a 4th season of European football. So I do think he's going to be going into this with an interesting mindset. I don't think he can go in like he normally goes into games. So I'm actually looking forward to it. I mean, I'm really intrigued to see what he does now, really.
Yeah, there's been a bit of a blow for sort of David Moyes in terms of his team selection. There's one player that would be starting unavailable today. If I was to ask you which player you'd almost guarantee is available for us, who would it be?
Probably Bowen. Oh dear.
Yeah. I mean, there was a bit of a I guess a clue in the sense that Moyes had spoken about him being injected up and so on and so forth. But apparently, we'll find out in a couple of minutes. Apparently, Bowen he's not even on the bench. He's just unavailable for today's game, which would be a huge blow for us actually. And that's sort of knocked my hopes down a little bit, I have to say. He's seen on Friday how significant a difference Jared Bowen can make to our attack and how we play and whatnot. So it's a big loss not having Bowen available. But we'll get official confirmation in a few minutes' time. While we're doing that, please do get involved by clicking the thumbs up button, dropping a like on the video, also subscribing new to Hammers Chat. Also, just want to very quickly point in the direction of today's video match bingo, and it's important today. I say it's important. There's a free card. There's a free card for the Crystal Palace West Ham game. So even if you don't want to deposit money, you do not have to deposit money in order to play today's game. The link to download the app is in the description below. Please do use that link. Once you've downloaded it, sign up. That is also free. And then you'll find Crystal Palace versus West Ham on the front page of the app. You don't have to go looking for it. It's right there. It will say from free. Click on that. Click purchase. The wording isn't ideal, but purchase. There's no money in your account. You literally cannot use money anyway. Just get it. It'll be free. You'll get 15 things you need to happen in the game. There's some small, easy things like Crystal Palace get a throw in, West Ham take kickoff. It varies from person to person. It's all random. You don't get to choose 15 things. It's given to you at random, just like a bingo card is in the bingo hall. And then it marks it off for you as we go on through the game. You don't have to sit there and mark it off yourself. It does it automatically. 3 prizes up for grabs. First line, second line, full house. Again, the app updates everything for you. So all you have to do is download, sign up, obtain the free card, sit back, cross your fingers. Gonzo last weekend against Fulham won 50 quid. And then we've had lots of winners from our subscribers, so do get involved. It's free for today's game. Right then, Gonzo, would you like to know the West Ham starting 11 for today's game?
Yes, please. I'm intrigued. Well, I think I know what it'll do, but I'll be intrigued to find out.
In goal for the Hammers this afternoon is Lucas Fabianski. The back four is as follows: Vladimir Sufal at right back, Kurt Zouma at centre back, alongside Angelo Ogbonna, and then we've got Emerson at left back. In midfield, got Edson Alvarez and Thomas Souček, with James Ward-Prowse likely to play in the number 10 role, with Mohamed Kudus on the right, Lucas Paqueta on the left, and Mikhail Antonio up front. Now, we'll do the bench in a couple of minutes' time, but just for a little bit of context, there is no Jared Bowen in the squad. There is no Konstantinos Mavropanos. There is no Nia Figueroa. These three players are out. However, the good news for the bench is Areola and Calvin Phillips have returned, so they're available for David Moyes today. But that's the West Ham starting 11. What are you thinking?
I guess it's as good as he feels he can do. That's where you are. This is his show. We're honestly, we're in a David Moyes show now. He's even said it this week. He likes a small squad. He would choose to have a small squad. He even pretty much said that he wants everyone to have a small squad. So almost if he was in charge of the Premier League, he'd legislate against big squads. This is pretty much what he said. So here we are. Here we are with his small squad. And we're just going to have to see how this plays out. I'm worried about the back. I have to say those two centre-backs, particularly with how mobile so many of the Crystal Palace players are. I mentioned Mateta, who I don't think is the greatest player in the world, but I think you might find the right player at the right club at the right time under the right coach with Glasner there, who seems to be getting the very best out of him. I've said this on a number of occasions. I always remember Mark Hughes for Blackburn Rovers signing Roque Santa Cruz. And he said we looked at him quite a few times and then we were always finding reasons not to sign him. But in the end, we just decided to look at what he can do rather than what he can't do. And whilst Gazza didn't use those exact words, I do think that he's looked at him and he alluded to the fact, well, hold on, we've got a big, strong, powerful, fast striker here, and that's what we're going to get out of him. We're going to ask him to do nothing more than that. And I think with those attributes, that could well cause a few problems. That being said, we've seen Zouma up against some good strikers recently, and he's done pretty damn well. So I do think that's going to be perhaps where the contest is won and lost, I would imagine. Really interesting. Mudgy, it might play into their hands if Elise doesn't really cut in that much and he's putting crosses over. Then those two are pretty damn good in the air. So we'll see what happens there. Unfortunately, the Eze is going to be an issue in this game. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, he does like cutting into, does Elise. Yeah. I think it's a bit of a blow not having Bowen and Mavropanos, because I think this morning they're both touch and go for the game. There's a chance both of them could have made it, or just one of them, as it happens, neither have been declared fit enough. I understand it to some extent, especially after hearing Bowen was sort of like juiced up with Thursday. And I think it was the right thing to do. To prioritise Thursday over today's game was the right thing to do, I believe. And, after an hour, half time on Thursday, I decided it was 100% the right thing to have done. We're 1-0 up and we've got a chance to go on and do it. Now, we didn't. We've just covered why, but this is the knock-on effect, which is unavailable for Sunday then. And this is the risk that we chose to roll the dice on Thursday instead of today's game. It's hard to look at this team and feel confident that we're going to go on and win the game. It's hard to look at this one and think, there's no weaknesses. There's quite a few weaknesses. We've seen Sufal struggle at times against tricky wingers. Zouma, although slow, is in good form at the minute. Ogbonna's an unknown quantity in the sense that we haven't seen him for so long. You just don't know what Ogbonna's going to turn up. Emerson's back in after rest. That's positive. Alvarez and Souček in midfield. Happy with that. Ward-Prowse in number 10. Now, I thought he did really well in the first hour or so against Leverkusen. And it might work because of the way Crystal Palace play under Glasner can be quite high tempo and pushing up in high press. That might suit Ward-Prowse for this match. Paqueta back on the left isn't ideal, but I'll tell you what, in the previous 3 games, 2 of the 3 games in the number 10, I haven't been impressed with him. Yeah. So Kudus on the right arguably is a good thing compared to being on the left. I think I prefer him on the right-hand side. And then obviously, hopefully you've got beast mode. But it's a bit of a team. I'm not sure what else I would like to have done, though. In fact, let's cover the bench and we can discuss that. The bench for West Ham is as follows. There's good news. Alphonse Areola is back. He's on the substitutes bench for West Ham, as is Ben Johnson and Aaron Creswell. Our centre-back on the bench is Casey, our youngster. In midfield, we've got, for the bench, we've got Callum Phillips as well as Lewis Orford. And then we've also got Maxwell Cornet, Danny Ings, Divine Mubama. Now, the poll is live in the live chat for selections. Please pick which one you think reflects your opinion on West Ham's starting 11 today. Please pick what one, and when Charlie's along, he will tell us what the results are. Right then, Gonzo, that's the West Ham bench. Is there anything you would have done differently? Looking at the available players for the game,
I would try to get another attacker. I mean, look, Casey being on there's a farce. There are 2 fullbacks and 3 midfielders who would all play at centre half before Casey. So there's honestly, there is no point in him being on there, and I'm quite happy to make that case if need be. There's no point in being on there. So maybe somebody that could give us a little bit of something else from an attacking point of view. That being said, I would say what I said, in terms of, I would imagine if we need something, wide and on the wing and an attacker, I would imagine Johnson gets probably used before Cornet as well. So, it's really a case of me, can the first 11 get it down? The bench, I've got to be honest, means nothing to me at all, because I just don't think we use them at all. So, yeah, it's a case of him getting the best out of it. It's Paqueta link up with Emerson, I think, is probably going to be the biggest contributing factor in this game. I wouldn't look at anyone on that bench and think they'll have anything to do.
Dylan, he is on the bench, Dylan. If I didn't read him out, apologies, but Maxwell Cornet is on the bench, Dylan. He's in the squad. He's the one I would maybe have opted for today's game, ahead of either Ward-Prowse or Souček. Take your pick. I wouldn't have been against either of them starting alongside Alvarez. I would have preferred Souček. I would understand if he went for Ward-Prowse. I wouldn't have been too disappointed by it, just because I feel confident they're going to score. So obviously, hey, maths genius here. We're going to need to score at least 2 in order to win this game. That's assuming we keep them down to just the 1 goal. I'm looking at our starting 11, and I'm not too sure that there's 2 goals in our side without Jared Bowen. Put Cornet in there, and perhaps my confidence would have went up a little bit. If I felt confident that this back 4 and midfield 3 would make it difficult for Palace to score and we were likely to come away with a clean sheet, I'd be okay with it. But I don't have that confidence. I think despite having that, what should be quite a strong midfield in there, I still feel quite confident that Palace will get a minimum of 1 goal today. So for that reason, I would have liked to see an extra attacking player in order to try and win the game, because we need to. And also, we don't have that player on the bench to come on in order to change the game. If we got to 70-minute marks and it was a draw, do we have someone that can come on and try and go get that winner? I'm not too sure we do. But anyway, obviously, only one half of the game today is West Ham. Would you like to know what the Crystal Palace side is?
Yeah, I guess we'll have to.
Well, I made Charlie's job very easy because I was able to guess it correctly. In goal for Crystal Palace today is Dean Henderson, with a back 3 of Klein, Anderson and Richards. We've got Munoz playing right wing back with Mitchell playing left wing back. We've got Adam Wharton and Will Hughes in centre midfield. But we'll then have Elise slightly to the right-hand side and Eze slightly to the left, with Mateta through the middle.
Yeah, predictable team, really, isn't it? As you just did. So, yes, gonna be tough. Going to be a tough day. Going to be a tough day at the office. But look, we're not playing Real Madrid here. Let's get that right. If we turn up and that starting 11 can find some energy levels, we'll beat them. And it's as simple as that, really. It is down to us. But the starting 11, as I say, are going to have to beat them. That is a crappy old back line that they've got there. Some delicious players in midfield and attack. But the back line is... I like Anderson. Don't get me wrong. I do like Anderson. But that is not what I would call a stable defence at all. So I'd be absolutely looking to get at them. And if I was Antonio, it's all about what have they done with him. If they had him rested, ice bathed up, massaged, get him out full beast mode, couple of Jaffa cakes, get him out there in full beast mode, and then get on Klein, get on him, and ragdoll him. And I think what we could really get a lot of joy there. So, yeah, whilst there are concerns, and it is a good team, and he's implemented this new style, and there was lots of clips circulating on social media about their wonderful passing interchanges, and it was impressive. And Eze's impressive, and Elise's impressive, and Wharton, as you say, has done really well. They're doing ever so well. They really are. The back line are there to be got at. And if he allows the forwards to get at them before they get knackered, this is the key, Geo. before they get knackered. Get at them. Then we can score goals against this bunch. If what he's going to do is he's going to pull Kudus back and sit him right next to Soufal. He's going to pull Paqueta back and everyone's sat back in our half. Then really, we're giving them the biggest let off we possibly could. That is a makeshift defence. Even the midfielder that they usually stick in a defence to get over the fact that their shorter defenders is injured. They are on emergency rations, their back line. They really are. And if we don't test it and if we don't put 3 players up against them all game, then we can have no complaints on this one because we're not testing their weak spot and it's there to be exploited. So I do think we can get something from this game.
Yeah, I think their front three, Mateta's and Good Nick, Elise and Eze are ridiculously talented players. I'm a big fan of Wharton in there. I've never been a big fan of Will Hughes. He's not a player that I've ever really taken to. And I agree with you. I think Anderson's a really good centre-back, but Klein isn't a centre-back, and I'm still unsure on Richards. But Crystal Palace will be playing in a similar formation. On paper, maybe not style and whatnot, but on paper, they're playing a similar formation that Leverkusen begun with on Thursday, with the 3 centre-backs, wing-backs, centre midfield, striker, 2 players in behind. And we approached that game really well in the sense that we pushed Kudus and Bowen up, and basically Soufal and Aaron Creswell said, we'll take care of the wing backs. You two get up at that centre. We have to do the same again today. Get Kudus away from Mitchell, because Mitchell's a good defender. I like Mitchell. Entering last year, his contract to Palace, wouldn't mind him at West Ham. However, get Kudus away from Mitchell, let Soufal take control of him, and pass Eze on to Zuma. Not the easiest thing in the world. And this is obviously when we're in possession. Obviously, when we're out of possession, there will be a requirement for either Kudus or Paqueta to come back and help out. But going forward, get Kudus off that wing and let's have him running at Richards. And like you said, let's get Paqueta trying to drag Klein out of there and cause him a bit of trouble, because while we are missing a few players, so are Crystal Palace. And if he wants, I don't mind Moyes saying I like a small squad. It doesn't bother me. Fine, have a small squad, but use it. Use everybody. If you're only going to have 16 players, you've got to make sure they're all utilised and they're all able to contribute. And today, even if we had a fully fit team, we'd probably make 2 changes. Keeper aside, we'd swap somebody for Ogbonna, and and Bowen would come in for one of Ward-Prowse or Souček. 8 of the outfielders would be playing regardless of injuries and whatnot. So it's not like we're down to the bare bones here today. Big game, important game for us. Right, the bench for Crystal Palace is as follows. I've got in alphabetical order, but Charlie's got it in positional sense for you. So there you go. The bench is Amada as well as Jordan Ayew. Edwards on there alongside Rob Holding. Matthews is on the bench as well as Riedwald. And then we've got Schlupp, former West Ham player James Tompkins, and Joel Ward as well. That's the Crystal Palace bench. Well, you've seen the teams. What myself and Gonzo are going to do now, we're going to compile a little bet. We're going to put a little something together, and if the bet wins, we're going to hand the cash to one of you guys. Well, we're going to transfer the cash to one of you guys.
We're not traveling anywhere.
We're not traveling to give it to you. We will transfer it to you. Right, Gonzo, is there anything that's tickling your fancy for the bet this afternoon?
Yeah, there is actually. There's a few things. A West Ham win,
right,
and I think a James Ward-Prowse goal as well.
Prowse goal. Anything else?
Should be about 1 million to 1, shouldn't it?
It's not that big odds. It's 17 to 2. It's a good starting point.
Oh, okay. Well, you pick us a card. Get a card, probably.
Well, I think what we'll also do is I think we put Eze and Elise to have 2 shots each, because if we're winning, they're going to be piling forward, aren't they? It's still not that big at 12 to 1. Right, we need someone to get booked. Who we're fancying? Emerson up against Elise or Soufal against Eze? Alvarez is probably a bit of an easy one with both of them putting in. Soufal, right. That'll do. 50 to 1, 250 quid. Right, £250, or what do you want? 250 for 1 and 125 for 2?
250 for one person.
Right.
Makes a
if this
doesn't it?
bet wins, someone will win 250 quid. The bet is as follows: West Ham to win the game, James Ward-Prowse to score a goal, Eze and Elise to have 2 shots each, and Vladimir Soufal to be booked in the game. If all that happens, one of you will win 250 quid. In order to enter the bet in the live chat, please put the following phrase.
I don't know how you're going to spell this, and I don't mind. We'll allow some leeway, but I'm going with schluppery customer.
There you go, slippery customer. Get that into the live chat, and when somebody spelt it adequately for Gonzo, we'll click on it. You can just copy that person.
Yeah, something like
anyway,
that. Yeah.
You've seen the two teams, Gonzo. How you feeling?
Yeah, good.
Oh, that's
good.
a great spelling, that one. I'm happy with that.
That's I didn't know what it was, but if I had have imagined it in my mind, it would have been that. It would have been that. Yeah, good. I like that's it. Schloppery customer. There you go. If you're wondering, by the way, why people are typing in schloppery customer, that's what you got to type in to qualify for the bet, basically, for the big prize giveaway. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it. I like the talk. I'm happy enough to say when I don't like what David Moyes has said. I like what he said. We have to win every game. Yeah, I think you probably do. Don't get me wrong. We spoke about the nuances. I certainly think you've got to beat Chelsea, you've got to beat Crystal Palace, you've got to beat Luton, and got to get something from either Man City or Liverpool. But yeah, so you should go in with the mindset of getting something from every game, because what you can't do is rely on getting something from Liverpool and Man City. So this is a must-win game. I think he's going for it as a must-win game. I really do. There's no wriggle room anymore. This is it. So I like that. He's being forced into probably doing tactics that he might not want. He's been shown by the team he selected and the shape and the intent he put the team out in the first half of the second leg against Leverkusen that he can do it. And he's got to do it in this one. And I think he will, actually. And I think if he does, and so it then just comes down to fatigue levels. But I think it's okay. I think if we can, but we need to do it early. There's no point. Antonio's not going to hurt them after 70 minutes, for instance. He'll be out on his feet. And I think if we get to a point there when we're asking maybe Danny Ings to rescue stuff or something like that, it's going to be difficult. I do think once it happens, you start to see the Ben Johnson substitution being made, and I've got no problem with Ben Johnson, none whatsoever. I think I would like to see him get a new deal, but he seems to be the answer in attack at the moment.
And defence, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
we need a goal. Yeah. Johnson's coming on. We need
to
hold on to a lead. Johnson's coming on.
Yeah, and it's
meteorite coming out of Earth. Johnson's coming on.
Exactly, it does my nutting actually.
Johnson's loving it.
Sorry.
Ben Johnson's loving it, though.
Yeah. Good on him. Bring him on. Don't make him the first substitution when we're chasing the game. But anyway, so I just don't feel he can do any of that stuff anymore. He's got to go for it. Otherwise, he won't like it. Moyes won't like it. He'll be playing out the last 2 or 3 games and all those press conferences, knowing that he ain't got a job, basically. So, he wants to prove everyone wrong. He's very happy with the job he's done at West Ham. He's very confident. He absolutely believes that he is one of the best managers. He certainly, over the last 20 years, he's one of the best managers the Premier League's ever seen. And he's going to carry that confidence through. And I think I like to think that there's going to be a part of him that wants to prove everyone wrong, and he will do. And we've heard it from him. We've heard it from all his cronies and all his henchmen during the week about how great he is. He's rattled when you suggest he's a defensive manager. He's telling you, no, I put out attacking, so he's going to try and show it. I think it will quite possibly be enough to win the game today. We might not have the energy levels of Crystal Palace, but we might have a little bit more desire because we've got something to play for and they don't have anything to play for. You might well find the most rousing team talk is done by a very, very desperate David Moyes.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the only scenario where he can walk away in the summer and stick 2 fingers up at West Ham is by getting us European football. Yeah. Because if we finish 10th and he walks away, a lot of people go, oh, it is what it is. It's not that big a deal. West Ham haven't really lost out. Moyes haven't really lost out. Amicable parting, almost the perfect end to way to end a tenure as a manager. But if he gets us 7th, qualifies for the Conference League next season, or 6th in the Europa League, and walks away, people go, oh, West Ham made a mistake here. That's possibly the only scenario where Moyes can walk away and it looks like, to the outside world, it looks like West Ham have messed up. And he possibly won't need his friends to bang that drum for him, other people will do it and other people will perceive it that way. Whereas if we were to finish 10th and he's got Stuart Pearce on a podcast saying, "Oh yeah, boys deserve to stay." I think a lot of neutrals would go, "Well, did he 10th? It's not. What's that? That's not enough, is it?" So he needs to win this. We need to win this. He needs to win this. A lot of these players need to win this in order to go on and achieve what they want to achieve in the game at West Ham United. It's a must win. It's as simple as that. I'm pleased to hear. I've been trying to avoid him as much as I can. So when you said he wants to win it, he said he has to win every single game. I'm pleased to hear that. That reassures me that there's maybe still a little bit of fire in his belly and he still has ambitions to get West Ham back into European football. And I think when I listened to Mikel Antonio after the Leverkusen game, obviously disappointed and angry, but in the same sentences, I could feel the hunger to go get European football for next season. And he was a bit like, we're not finished yet. We're going to go try and get it for next year. And I believed Mikel Antonio. I could feel it. And I thought, this guy's up for it. This guy knows next season could be his final season in top flight football. And he's going to want to be playing because he's missed out on a lot of the European games this year around, Antonio, because of injury. He missed out on quite a bit of the campaign. So he's maybe felt like he's not been involved enough per se. So anyway, in regards to today's game, I'm worried. Could Moyes do much more or much better with the starting 11? It's hard. I could sit here and say why I think Cornet should start, but it's based on Maxwell Cornet from Burnley.
Yeah.
I can't say, well, this is what Cornet's done at West Ham, and this is why he should start. I have to go back to when he was at Burnley and say, well, look what he did at Burnley. If he could replicate that in the next 5 games. So it's sort of, he's in a tricky position because of the absentees of Aguerd and Mavropanos, so he has to pick Zuma and Obona. And then because of Bowen being out, he's obviously felt he'd go with this. And it's it did work against David Keegan for 45 minutes. I assume we'll be playing an identical style. I hope we will be. Possibly only for 45 minutes before we're all knackered again. But Crystal Palace won't have what Leverkusen did in the second half. They've got good players, there's no doubt about it, but I'm not sure they can pass us to death and manipulate the ball the way that Leverkusen did. At least Inez can, but I'm not sure Will Hughes has got that elegance that Palacios or Xhaka brings to the team, for example. So I'm still a little bit iffy with this game, though. My confidence hasn't really gone up. In the preview, you predicted a hiding for us, didn't you?
I said 2-2, didn't I?
I don't know. I thought maybe you did. What you vibing at the minute before we start taking comments from the live chat?
I think we'll win. I think we'll win today. I do. It's not. I spent so much time whinging about David Moyes. I've seen something that I wanted to see from him. Not the team. I think he's picked the team that he can, and that's his fault. But this is not a time to be talking about the squad. I'll talk about that afterwards, at the end of the season or whatever. But it's not just West Ham. Look, you talk about his people in the media, or I do, or whatever. I think he cares what they think more than West Ham fans think. In fact, I'd say that about the ownership. I think the ownership,
Sullivan does as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's important. And make no mistake about it, Moyes is not finished yet. Even if he finishes at West Ham, that's also why it's important what the outside perception of him is, because he's going to walk and go and do another job, and he feels that's important. And credit to him, he's repaired his reputation after Sunderland, which was rock bottom. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think there are too many Premier League teams that would take him, but there would be one or two. He would get a job in the Premier League. So and after Sunderland, he wouldn't have done. So he's repaired his reputation. And I think it's important. And I think if he can finish strongly, his CV looks a lot better. And I think if he can walk away from West Ham and say 4 seasons of European football, I think then the number of clubs in the Premier League that want to employ him then becomes expanded, because then you're asking, okay, look, it might not be the best football in the world, but not everyone cares about that stuff. And you certainly, and to be fair, when we've been desperate in our history, West Ham, we don't care about that stuff. We care about that stuff after a while. Any team that are just looking to survive are going to look at him and think, well, maybe he can do a job. And I think he probably can, but he needs to prove himself now, because otherwise, as you mentioned, it's going to peter out. It's going to tail off into a whimper the rest of the season for him and for us. So today's big. I think he knows it. I think the players know it. And I just think we might have a little bit too much desire from them. But that only applies if he attacks that shaky old back three. If he sits back and he craps it against Crystal Palace, then they will eventually open us up. And it could be Eze's quick feet and positional sense, or it could be Elise's delivery, or it could just be the fact that what's his name up front, Mateta, is just too athletic and fast for the centre back. So yeah, let's take the game, Sam. Attack is the best form of defence in this one.
Well, I hope you're right, my friend. I just said 1-1 in the preview, but I'm edging towards Crystal Palace beating us 2-1 now.
Oh,
yeah, I don't know. I just, as I said to you in the breakfast show this morning, watching Arsenal and Man City look tired after their midweek matches, and we've obviously had one on Thursday. It's sort of, I think we can give Palace a game for 45 minutes to an hour, and after that, I think it's sort of like they're battering a really tired team, and that worries me to some extent. I just don't think we've got enough at the tank. I hope you're right. I'd love to be doing a review later, Gonzo, celebrating the fact that we won, we're 6, and I can almost get my hopes up for European football again. There's still a big ask, but I can start to get my hopes up a bit. But I'm just, I'm not too sure. Jared Bowen being out is just not me for 6. Tripito, I think Bowen's an absolute fantastic player. And statistically, it's no Paqueta, no Partey. We know that. But actually, I think it's more no Bowen, no Partey for me. And I think no Jared Bowen makes me just, I'm not feeling too much for this one. So I think we may lose this game. But I hope you're right, Gonzo. Right then, just want to ask a few favors from you. Please do drop a like on the video by clicking thumbs up. It's free, helps out the video, helps out the channel, makes me, Gonzo, and Charlie very happy. Subscribe if you're new to Hammer's Chat as well. We're not too far off 48,000, I wish, 38,000 subscribers. Unless Gonzo's been buying us fake subscribers in the last 24 hours.
Yes, please.
Hey, it works for some other channels. You could dabble as well. We're not far off 38,000 subscribers. So if you're new around here, please do subscribe. We appreciate it. And lastly, I just want to point you in the direction of Match Bingo, the sponsors of this video. If you watch along between now and the end of the season, today's game is free. Download the app. Using the link in description, you must use that link so that we can get credited with your download. Sign up for free. Now, it is a gambling app, so you do have to be 18 years and over. However, you do not have to deposit money in order to get a bingo card for today's game. So you've already got it on your phone. Log back in and get that card for free. You just never know. You may win. Someone will probably win £25. Someone will probably win £50, and someone will possibly win £100 on that app today. Gonzo won 50 quid on the Fulham game last weekend, so he's got a lot of money in his account. Gonzo does. Anyway, do get it downloaded, and thank you to anybody that has. It helps out the channel a lot. It's I'll be honest with you, it's our best brand deal we've ever had. It's the biggest brand deal we've ever had for the channel, so it's made a huge difference to us, means a lot to us. So thank you to anybody that gets involved. Mark won £25 yesterday.
Thank you. Well done, Mark. I don't know why I'm saying thank you, but well done.
There's quite a few people have I've won a bit of money coming from.
I need a right-footed goal, Geo, amongst my
for West Ham.
I've got attempt off target. There you go, Antonio's sorted.
But that right-footed shot for West Ham, I needed a left-footed one when we played Brentford, and Kudus and Bowen scored, and they both scored with their right foot. Or it was Newcastle.
Oh, really?
Played. Yeah, it was Newcastle played. Kudus and Bowen both scored, or whatever. They both scored, and they both scored with their right foot, and I needed a left-footed goal. And I thought, what's the chances of this? Paqueta, Bowen, Kudus, 3 left-footers, and it didn't win. I
got 3 subs West Ham. I got 6+ minutes injury time, and I've got a headed goal. So, but they're all different lines. Just because you think you might have an unreasonable thing on one line, one of your other, as I found out last week against Fulham.
There you go. There you go. Right, time to get your thoughts into the live chat. Then Charlie will be joining us very soon. Right, let's have a little look and see what you're all saying. Sharky says we need a win today for any possibility of European football 100%. Next season. Nick says this is massively important, but so was the game against Fulham, and look how that went. I completely agree. That one's giving me not nightmares per se, but the heebie-jeebies. Stephen said, would you love to win on Match Bingo? Be careful what you wish for.
Absolutely. I didn't wish for it. It just happened.
Charles said, maybe in the next life I'll be a decent YouTuber. Hey, that's mine and Gonzo's wish as well.
Absolutely.
There's 3 of us wishing for the same thing.
There you
go. Steve says, Moyes will revert to type, and there's a slow start coming up for the Hammers this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm not sure he'd have an awful lot to do with that. I think it might be the fatigue levels that'll that will dictate that. Yeah.
Jamie says need to take advantage of the extra man in the middle.
It's a Michael Jackson song.
Oh, we'll have to. I don't think we will, though. We never have that sort of domination of the midfield against Fulham, right? Sometimes we will play and we will come out the game with 30% possession, and I will generally think it didn't feel like that. It felt like we had more of the ball. Against Fulham, we had 59% possession. I thought, did we? What? Really?
Yeah, I thought there was some discrepancy. I was whacking my phone, restarting it. Yeah.
I had to shut down the app and use a different one. I was like, that app's on the blink. That one. Let me try and do 59%. I thought we had 59% of the ball against Fulham. So there you go, possession smashing, I say. But the point remains, which is with lots of the ball against Fulham, we didn't feel like we did anything. We didn't dominate the game or anything like that, despite having 59% of the bloody ball. But anyway, Callum says if we score any more than one goal without Bowen, he'll be shocked. I have a horrible feeling we will park the bus for an hour or until we go a goal down before we attack.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm trying not to think that stuff. I really am, because I think it's more. Yeah. I mean, I'm as frustrated with David Moyes as anyone. I really am. But I'm just thinking what I'm hoping for. It's not. I'm not trying to make the case that he's better than he is, or he's going to start playing expensive football. I am going on the cornered rat theory. That's it. I just think he is now doesn't have any other choice but to go for it. If honestly, if we did do that, it would be so foolish from him. Then he doesn't deserve to keep the job, quite frankly.
Tony says no point having an extra man in the middle if it's Ward-Prowse. He doesn't mark, doesn't track, doesn't tackle or run with the ball. Waste of a shirt. Only in the side for set pieces. Davis is saying, why would you not start one of the best goalkeepers in the league?
I don't know. I can only assume. Who knows? Maybe he's not fully fit, but then why be on the bench? Who knows?
Because I guess the chances of needing your keeper is pretty slim. If you need him at some point, again, if you only need him in the second half, just not that much of a requirement. Maybe he can't. Maybe he'd be okay to come on, but can't take goal kicks or something. And he's decided it's better to have that than Anang because. Maybe. And also, to be fair, with the thing is, I think Fabianski's been in good form, but the problem is, I think he's going to get papped today. I think he's going to be a busy goalkeeper with Elise and Eze. Neither player mind hitting it from 25 yards. We don't mind saying to players like Leverkusen away, go on then, shoot from distance. What are you going to do? Yeah. Actually, Elise and Eze will go, I'm going to have a dig. I'll have a crack from here. I don't mind. So I think that's a bit of a. That's the bit of the issue. But I do think Ariola's been in fine form, actually. And Dylan agrees. I said Fabianski's been in good form. Ariola's only 90%, so there's no guarantee Ariola's a better option if he's not fully fit. But he's probably better than Anang. I think that's bang on, personally. I think that's...
Yeah, I'm assuming if he was fully fit, he'd play.
Jones says, fresh, if somewhat old legs of Bonner. Alvarez hasn't played as much. Paqueta and Emerson. So we've got 4 fresh players in that team today.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Absolutely fair point, Joe.
Gerard will put the West Ham bench on the screen for you now. It's there. We're not going to read it out, but for anybody who wants to know what the West Ham bench is, it's scrolling along the bottom of your screen. It will remain there for a couple of minutes.
Great picture.
Until Charlie decides
to
get rid of it. And speaking of Charlie, let's introduce him. Bevo!
Hello.
Right, Bevo, I need to go in 2 minutes to go have my very late lunch because just like you, Charlie, I was also running late. Charlie was ringing me, telling me he was ringing late, and I couldn't answer because I was running late. So we couldn't have a conversation about running late because I was running late. So anyway, Bevo, what are you feeling ahead of today's game? I'm intrigued to get your vibe before I disappear.
Whatever. Season's done. I feel honestly,
sounds a bit like Moyes, really.
It's fine. I don't think Moyes gives a crap anymore. I feel like honestly, it's fine. Like we've got basically the strongest lineup we could put out. It's stronger than their team, regardless. They have some dangerous players, but realistically, we know this backline can defend well if it's on its day. I'm not massively concerned. Do I think we'll score? Probably not, but we can score with the players we have on. You know. All I need to do is step slightly high once and Paqueta over the top to Kudus and it's a goal. I don't really care. So realistically, I feel like it's fine. I'm not like sitting here buzzing or bouncing for it, but I'm not that concerned either.
Happy days. I like that. You're always quite positive. That's always, we've got a pretty positive Charlie, a pretty positive Gonzo, and a miserable Geo. So I think that says more about me than these two. But anyway, thank you very much for that, Bevo. Right, I'm going to disappear. John just said Brian said something funny. I want to know. Oh, he just said that he hopes Phillips stays on the bench.
Oh, there you go.
I think that Calvin Phillips had typed that as well.
That's
Just leave me, please.
Yeah.
I don't want to come on. Joshua said, "You boys are aware where I'm from." Joshua, we've literally been saying we go 6.
Yeah, he can't have listened to the whole video.
When we go 6, Joshua. When we go 6, we're aware.
Gio, what position would we be in if we won today?
Don't start. Basically, Charlie got rattled the other day because we did a half-hour video, quite critical of Moyes, and somebody basically said, "You're a bit too positive about Moyes." So Charlie was like, listen. So Charlie quite enjoyed it, actually. Charlie's the calmest one by a mile out of the three of us, and even Charlie had enough of somebody.
I would describe it as rattled. I'm just like, bruv, use your lugs. They're there for a reason. Do you know what I mean?
Some of us can't, Charlie.
Yeah, and yet somehow you managed to hear. So what's his excuse?
Don't know. Anyway, right. I'm going to disappear. Gonzo, are you sticking around? Are you disappearing?
Just for a couple of minutes. Yeah.
Charlie, I'll see you at halftime.
See you at halftime. Thanks, Gio. How are you, Gonzo?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
I'm good. I've busted my foot. So when I was running late, I was more hobbling late. But
you didn't bust your foot running to get to the video?
No. Nothing as exciting or as good an excuse as that. I just need new shoes. But yeah, no, I'm good. I'm genuinely. There is part of me that's just like, I was very proud of the team after Thursday, as much as I was deflated at the result and everything about that. I was proud of it, and so I just want to feel that again. You know, that's all I need today.
Yeah, I think I'd take relief really at this point rather than pride. I just want to still be in it. A win today is really, really important because I do feel if we can just sort of somehow scrape this win, then everybody else has those midweek games. Then we have a week to get everybody back fit and fresh.
Yeah.
Then we stand a chance. We do stand a chance. There's no doubt about it. We shouldn't be in this position. We absolutely should not be in a situation that we're in where it's so desperate. But once you've accepted that we are, once you've accepted that we have a really thin squad, once you've accepted that David Moyes does not do substitutions, then you're left with sort of hoping for the best. And I've switched in the last little while to thinking actually we might be able to get a win here. In fact, I'm going to predict. I will predict a win. I think we will. I think we might win this. Keep it in there, and I don't know how much of that is hope. I don't know how much of that is expectation. I don't know how much of that is just not wanting to think what the alternative is, which is basically us really just seeing out the rest of the season with pointless games that don't matter. And also, I feel it would not be good for David Moyes either, because the board, even at the point where West Ham can't qualify for Europe, the board won't get rid of him. So all that will happen is he'll just continually get stick and criticism and questions. And he doesn't like the questions in the press conferences. It's not like the press. I'll be honest with you.
I don't think he likes anything in a press conference. You call him Moisey, he tends to pop off. So he's just the kind of guy he is. I don't think he particularly. I think I agree and I disagree with everything you're saying. I feel like us as a fan base probably feel like the season's over a lot more than the players and the manager might. I feel like we're all now. Depending on today's result, could be a very big difference. To be fair, we lose today, then all of a sudden it becomes an incredible uphill battle, and I think at that point maybe it's slightly different. But I feel like because us as a fan base is sort of deep seeing the Moyes situation just so much that we're almost writing off the rest of the season and just looking towards the summer because we're not in Europe anymore. It's sort of done, and I feel like actually from a player and manager perspective, especially if we get a result today, then all of a sudden the rest of the season is to play for. If you look at like, as much as I know, for example, when we inevitably start quite defensive, which I do think will happen, by the way, I heard you and Gio talking about it a bit. I do think today we're in for one of those sort of games. And someone in the chat sort of says something along the lines of, well, you can't defend for 90 minutes. I think if you look at the Arsenal game, you can. And I think that's kind of what I look at in this game. I think even if we do that, is this side better than Arsenal? No, and we kept Arsenal out. And so as much as that's a one-off situation, and you cannot use one-off situations to paint broad brushes ever. I would say that more than most people would. Realistically, it's possible. And at this point, half an hour away from kickoff, 20 minutes away from kickoff.
Yeah.
If I can't be a little bit unrealistically hopeful, then what the hell are we doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, look, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, and I can see counter arguments coming in all the time, and I just want to say that this is hard. I can only do. I mean, I do a video every day, and I would hope it would be clear what I think about David Moyes. And just because I say I think he might have to go for it, this one doesn't suddenly mean that I've changed my view on David Moyes. I also think we are knackered.
Yeah.
That's why. I think we can't. I still retain all the things that I think about David Moyes. I just think he's backed into a corner now. But it's also why I said in this very video that he cannot sit back. He cannot, because if he doesn't, by the time he gets to 65 minutes, Antonio will be done. He will be completely gone. It's no good sitting back and then waiting and thinking, right, I'll try and win the game at the end. No, he can't. He has to win the game at the start and then not revert back to sitting defensive, because you see with Newcastle, you see with Aston Villa, you see with Leverkusen, and those are just the recent examples in the last 10 games. It doesn't work. He has to get the best out of Antonio. Then he has to sub him off and bring another attacker on. And he has to keep attacking. It's the only way. And we will find out if David Moyes has got belief in what he's saying, which is we have to win these games. Now, the flip side of that is maybe he's thinking we can win these games, or we have to win all these games. That's what he said. He might think we can do that by defending. Well, we can't, because we're not very good at it.
But the thing is, I feel like that's exactly what he thinks. I think we often fall into the trap of, sorry for keeping you, by the way. I think this is an interesting conversation, and I don't want to keep you. If you have to go, you have to go. I feel like we often, I feel like when we talk about West Ham and we talk about what Moyes does, we often think he's set up for a draw, he's set up defensively, blah, 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 blah. That's what he believes is the best way to win. He starts the season doing that. Therefore, he's not going to start the season doing that if he doesn't think this is the way I'm going to win games. His idea is like, we'll keep it tight and then we'll get a goal at some point during the match. I don't think he particularly cares when it comes. And in fact, actually, we tend to start quite quickly compared to how we end halves, for example. We tend to come out first half and try and have a go for a bit, which shows that actually he would probably prefer a goal earlier. I think we often think about it in terms of like, well, if he's not attacking, then he doesn't want to win. Whereas realistically, not only do I think I think it's a difference of opinion. Me and you, or anyone in the chat might think you have to go for it. That's the way you're going to win these games. Moyes is trying to win these games. He just disagrees on.
Well, yes, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. To turn the phrase on you there, that is him going for it.
Yeah. 100%.
That is him going for it. He is literally the counter puncher. That's what he's doing. He's trying to rope-a-dope him, and that's it. And I think that you can see that with. When David Moyes loses games, he will generally look for the excuse within it. Be it the referee. Yes, I know the referee was atrocious, by the way. Leverkusen, it was awful. But he will look for that, or he will look for the injury, or will look for something that didn't happen. There will be some mitigation within that game as to why his tactics why he lost. You know what I mean? So why his tactics didn't work, rather than I can't think of too many times where he's just there will be something. Right, there's not at any point I've ever turned him around and said, well, actually, maybe the way I'm deployed him wasn't it. That it will never be that. It will never be that. It will be some external factor that has nothing to do with his tactics, like the referee, like fatigue, like an injury, whatever. Too much time, too little time added, any number of things. And I think that's the problem. And if you're always looking for excuses, you can't make an honest appraisal of why things have gone wrong. And he really won't see, I don't think, in those games, be it Aston Villa, Leverkusen or Newcastle, the difference in his team in the first half from the seconds. I think this is
well,
a bit of a
he
problem.
might, but he's not going to publicly admit it.
No,
because of exactly what you and Geo were talking about earlier, right? About how important the public opinion is for him right now in this specific moment. Maybe at the end of last season, maybe at the end of the season before that, it wasn't as important as it is this exact second when his time might be coming to an end. All of a sudden, public opinion becomes quite important, and so him just coming out and going, referee screwed us today," kind of is hugely beneficial. But to use a sports metaphor you would get on board with, and to sort of get on board with the counterpuncher thing. He might want to be Mayweather, right? He might want to be the counterpuncher, the defensive guy, and then to mix sports one more, and I apologize for it, as fans, look, we all want to see the end of that UFC fight when they just pointed at the center and then just started swinging at each other. That's what we all want to see. That's what we want to see. It's just David Moyes is a bit too conservative to maybe, I can't remember his name, but to be the guy who points at the center and then just start comical doing that. Because what happens? You get slumped 1 second ago, you know what I mean?
Yeah, oh, for sure. Absolutely. Yes, the whole "are you not entertained" situation really is, isn't it? Yeah. Do you know what? I wouldn't even mind that. I don't mind that. I'm not expecting that whole, hands down by the waist and start throwing a punch until someone gets knocked out just to threaten the opposition goal. I think tactically we would be foolish not to threaten what is a back line with, all right, so Richards is a centre-back, but let's be fair, he's not been playing an awful lot. But so a back three that has got Nathaniel Klein in it, that isn't his first choice, that Lerma was playing in that. This is not only is it not a good back line, this is not even how Glasner wants to play. And I think you've got a team of coaches, you must have identified that. So I just think that would be a huge source of regret for me if I'd sent the team out today and we didn't test that back line throughout the game. And I mean that throughout the game. And I think this is really important. So, right. Anyway, there we go. I think you're going to spend the whole video explaining where Jared Bowen is. So I wish you luck, Charlie.
Thank you very much.
And I'll await your text midway through the game. Are you telling me that I've won on Match Bingo?
Honestly, nothing made me watch it. People in the chat started going, "You've won match. Gonzo's won Match Bingo. Gonzo's won." And what do you mean? I open up Match Bingo, I click on it, it just says Gonzo, and I was like, "Oh, how have you've won? Geo has won, and I'm sat here on stream, no wins, fuming." It
will happen, mate. It'll happen.
I'm running out of time. I've got to start getting 2 phones going. Got to reel in for it.
That's
really
right.
trying.
That's right. Like it. Right, I'm going to go and nick a quick Cornish pasty. Well, it's not a Cornish pasty. Can't call it that. It's not come from Cornwall. Surrey pasty or something. Whatever it is.
I mean, you call other foods. You eat Yorkshire pudding in London.
You do, but you don't sell them. You make them. And I don't know what the rule is. I don't know what the rule. But apparently, yes, there was some rule. I think that you couldn't call a Cornish pasty unless it came from Cornwall.
The rule for me is if it's in my mouth and I like it, I don't care what it's called.
Yeah, if it's in my mouth, it's Cornish.
There we go. Sorted.
Right,
no stress.
You can boot me out.
All right. Cheers, Gonzo.
Enjoy the game, mate. Enjoy the game, everyone. See you later.
Gonzo, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you all for joining. How are we all? I hope you're well. Let's start by asking on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being the least confident possible, 10 being the most confident possible. How confident are you of a West Ham result today? It is West Ham United versus Crystal Palace, or Crystal Palace versus West Ham, I should probably say. In the Premier League, it's a big match. I might not have thought that the Fulham match was make or break as such. I think we're getting pretty close to make or break, if we're being honest about it. And this is one of them. Crystal Palace versus West Ham United. You see the teams running all about your screen. And so I will... actually, we didn't do the poll results, did we? We asked how you felt about the starting 11. There were four options. I love it. I like it. I dislike it, or I hate it. Over the 800 people voted. It was 4% hated it, 8% of people loved it, 32% of people disliked it, and then the majority, 54%, liked it. But a lot closer than previous ones have been, and I think that's fair when you look at the lineup. If we bring that up more emphatically on the screen. I'm just going to press that button twice, just to show off. Fabianski, Soufal, Zuma, Ogbonna, Emerson, Ward-Prowse, Alvarez, Souček, Kudus, Paqueta, Antonio. You can. I like it, but there's certainly some dislike to it. Is probably fair. Is probably 100% fair. Like outside of it, Fabianski for Areola, you could make an argument for. You'd probably change the back line around a bit. And you put Bowen in. Outside of that, it's our strongest 11. But without Bowen, it becomes a very, very difficult ask. And with those two defenders, especially if we get caught out at the back, it becomes a very, very difficult ask to sit there and act super positive about it. You look at the bench, it's got a lot of youth players on there. Areola, Johnson, Cresswell, Casey, Phillips, Orford, Ings, Cornet, Mubama. Returning Calvin Phillips, returning Alphonse Areola, both involved there. Casey who won't come on. I mean, it's more balanced than we have been in the past. Again, I said this last time, I'll say it again, but that's mainly because we have so many senior players out that if they were fit, they would be on the bench, and maybe a Casey wouldn't be, maybe an Orford wouldn't be, for example, and it would start to get a bit wonky again. But I mean, for me, I look at it and I think it's as strong as we could do today. I like it, but it's not exactly something that I'm sitting here really thinking I'm going to nail it. Really thinking this is the one to nail it. Let's put another poll up. We'll put up who do you think will win today? Or what was Robbie? What will Robbie? That's a better way of wording it. Crystal Palace win. I'm liking doing the multiple polls at the moment. Don't know why. It's just something I'm vibing with. So we'll lob another one on there, and then West win. And then we can leave it. We can leave that one for a while. Whereas Crystal Palace line up as such. They have Henderson in goal. Munoz, Klein, Anderson, Richards, and Mitchell. Wharton and Hughes with Elise, Mateta, and Eze. Like I say, it's not that strong a team. We have a better lineup than that, despite the injury hit. Our bench withstanding. I think starting lineup ours is probably stronger than that. But when you look at the highlights, when you look at your Eze's and your Elise's in attack, Mateta's doing all right at the moment. Like when you're looking at that sort of stuff, it makes our weaker than we'd like backline a lot more scary. A lot more scary. They obviously have some highlights. Wharton's having a really, really good season. Anderson's a good player. Henderson's a good goalkeeper. They have stuff there, but it's not as strong as our lineup. But again, their key, Elise and Eze, are where our weaknesses are, so to speak. Their bench: Matthews, Ward, Tompkins, Holding, Ridewell, Jeffrey Schlupp, Jordan Ayew, Ahamada, and Edouard. So it's going to be an interesting battle, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. I would suspect it would be a sit deep job. That's my gut. My gut says it will be exactly what everyone thinks a David Moyes team will be. That's my gut feeling. Let's have a look at your confidence levels though. Kez, good to see you. I could technically afford it now, Matt. It's just whether I want one. And the answer is, I do, because it's long. Washing long hair is a lot longer than washing short hair. You don't know until you do it. Jesus Christ, it's a lot longer. But having said that, to be honest with you, I just like annoying people, so it's going to stay. Let's have a look at the confidence levels, though. Tom says 1, Panda says 7, Fezza says 7, Nick is going with a 5 or 6, Maxwell Corner, yeah. It was in my. I was trying to sort of mold something together, MLJ, while Gonzo was talking there. It was in the back of my mind. I was trying to find it. I couldn't quite get there. 3, 4, 4. Logan Bounds. Logan, good to see you, sir. Hope you're well. 3. Rob's gone with a 7. Robert Singleton's gone with a 7. Matt's gone with a 5, 8, 10, 4, 6, 6, 0, says M. Collingwood. I think we're nailed on to lose. Fish and bread diet. Not inaccurate, if we're being honest about it. Usual suspects. 5, 6. HDU's gone with the 3.14, of course. Good to see you, sir. The Broomfields have gone with a 4. Major's gone with a 4. Robin's gone with a 6, 5, 6, 5. Love that. 7, 2, says Hawkwell Hammer. 5, 2, Cockney Buccaneers gone with a 50-50. Moyes will get his draw, says David. Will be talking about score predictions in just over a minute's time. 8, 7, 4, 6. Chuck, good to see you finally back from Thailand today. Nice. How was it? Give me, on a scale of 1 to 10, Chuck, how was Thailand? 1 being the least good possible, 10 being the best possible, or the most good, some would say. 4, 2, 5, not confident, says Mark. 3, says Cram. There certainly is a sort of prevailing lack of confidence, potentially. There's some people like Fred who may be slightly further across to the more confident side, which is probably where I would put myself. But 3, which Scott R is saying, will probably park the bus for 86 minutes and hope for a corner. I think there is certainly a prevailing sort of lack of confidence in there. There is a 7. From Doublethink, which I'm gonna act as 7, even though it's just 7, which I'm assuming you mean the river. I'm feeling 5,000 today. Yes, and by 5,000 I mean me. Sandwiches all day. Actually, I've had I've had 2 sandwiches today. I had 2 sandwiches yesterday. We're in a big sandwich phase for Charlie Walsh right at the moment. I'm not really sure why. Yeah, it makes sense. The confidence level sort of being a little bit all over the shop makes sense, to be honest with you. Like I say, the lineup isn't exactly where you'd want it to be. And given what happened on Thursday, it's difficult not to feel that sort of hangover from that spiritually, vibe-wise, you know. God, we really need better sandbags as Slenders, and that's kind of where a lot of the problem lies. Don't disagree with you. Johnson and Cresswell coming off the bench is decent, says Evan. I don't think it's that bad. Johnson will be preferred ahead of someone like Maxwell Cornet, for example, on the wing, which is slightly problematic. I might not be a Maxwell Cornet guy, but when you're looking at Ben Johnson versus him, it becomes a problem if he's the one coming off. But I don't necessarily think that's bad either, to be fair. Something we're going to have to sort out next summer if they're both going, which is a big problem, big problem. Scott R says, earthy in the starting lineup would make things exciting. Yeah, but when these players are fit, it's just never going to happen. It's just never ever going to happen. Oh, maybe last game of the season. If last game of the season we have nothing to play for, then maybe. But until we have nothing to play for, nah. I would love to see it, but it's not going to happen. Also, the person you'd probably come in for would be Paqueta, and you know. And we've just under 5 minutes to go. 4.5, 3, something like that. Let's get score prediction, shall we? On a scale of 1 to let's not on a scale of 1 to 10. That's not how scores work, Charlie. No more flipping, no more sitting on the fence. It's time to get those final score predictions in the live chat. You lob them in, and we will lock them in. It's Crystal Palace versus West Ham. It's a big game, and it's involving no coverage in the UK because, of course, that's just the way it goes. So I am, of course, over in my holiday home, in his holiday home in North Idaho, to watch it on the NIITS, the North Idaho Independent Television Service. However, if you are looking for a way to watch the game, there are definitely ways you can do it. Scroll down into the link in the description below. There's a bit there called Join Our Discord. Lovely Hammers chat, West Ham community, but fans of all clubs are welcome. However, more importantly, on the left-hand side, there's a bit called Stream Links, in which you will find what you're looking for. Right. Let's get to score predictions. Trying to find where they start. Chat is skipping around like crazy. Not great. Spent 11 days in ICU with pneumonia. I can imagine. I saw the word 11, right? Chuck, pull behind the curtain. I saw the word 11, got very excited for you. Then I saw the rest of it. Holy hell. I hope you're all right now. My mum had it a couple of years ago, and it was not a fun experience. So I hope you're all right, bro. Wouldn't let me fly without a nurse escort. Flipping hell. It's a long flight as well, isn't it? In my head, I'm thinking that maybe I'm wrong, but in my head, it's a long flight as well. I hope you're all right, bro. Hope you're all right. Here's where I start. There we go. MC has gone with 1-1 or 2-2. Scott's gone with 2-2, 2-2, 2-1. Palace 1-0. Phillips' own goal, says Major. Stress and also probably accurate. 1-1. Dean has gone with 3-1 to the mighty. That's what we're talking about, Dean. That's what we're talking about. Big. Hawkwell gone with 3-0 Palace. Keith Fox gone with 3-0 West Ham, a loss. I can't see it being 3-0. I'll be honest with you. I could see where the negativity would come from, but I can't see it being 3-0. I just don't see us conceding 3 to Palace. Cut to us conceding 3 to Palace. I remember that time. When was it? Was it last season? The one where we scored first, and I said good luck breaking us down, and then they scored 4 against us. So what the hell do I know? Yusuf says something's telling me 1-1 draw. Really disappointing about Bowen. As much as I love Ogbonna, he's played well. His age and lack of game time always worries me. Yeah, Yusuf, I think that's very fair. Marine Mears has gone with 2-1. Coming on, I'd love to see it. Panda's gone with 1-1. Hammers score early and Palace get a late equaliser. 1-0 says Michael. Welsh Hammers gone 2-1. Lewis has gone with 3-2. 3-2 in the opposite direction, says Robert Singleton. Mike has gone with 3-1. West Ham 2-0, says Ray of Hope. Blessing us from the clouds, they part. And Ray of Hope comes down with a 2-0. Mark gone with a cheeky Desmond. There are always goals against Palace 2-2. That is one thing that Geo was talking when he spoke to Dan of HOTCO fame. I really like Dan. I think he speaks really well, especially about opposition teams. I think he speaks so well. I think he's so good at what he does. but was talking about the fact of just how big the goals can be in this fixture. I'm seeing Jordan Ayew score bangers. I'm seeing Dimitri Payet scoring the free kick, the one where was it Dimitri Payet or Lanzini, the one where he dummies the goalkeeper and dinks it? Andy Carroll. There was always big goals in this game. 1 + 1 + 1. Wait, maybe put a hand on it. 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1. That's 10. Big. Here's where I misread it. 1-1, 2-0, 3-0. 2-0 players coming out. I will have to be pulling that up in just a second because I won't be watching it in normal instances. Yeah, and actually, if everyone can, lob a get well soon chuck in the chat because pneumonia, like I said, not a vibe, whatsoever. 2-1, 1-1. Kudus with 2 goals, says Mark, which we'll take. Spiritual's gone with 4-0 Palace. Spiritual, are you a Crystal Palace fan, by the way? If so, welcome. You've already subscribed to chat. I think Geo sets that up usually. Like the video, but welcome. Fans of all clubs are welcome. Ben's here. There you go. Ben's dropping in. If you use any of the links, make sure to thank Athers. That's young Tom's younger brother. That's the younger Athers. Athers 33 even. He's a good lad, and we just applaud him when he's here. Does good work, and that's not even for the links. That's just because he's a good lad, you know what I mean. But I do have to stop putting it up, right? Because it is West Ham versus Crystal Palace in the Premier League. It's a big game. Never strong. The worst thing again used to be an accountant, but when it's laid out like that for some reason, brain just can't deal with it. It's probably because it's probably the ADHD dyslexia brain of reading. That's what I'm going to blame it on, and not just stupidity, which, if we're being honest, is what it is. Right. It is West Ham versus Crystal Palace in the Premier League. A big game for both sides. Appreciate you, Ben. Have a good one, bro. A big game for both sides, and it's going to need something. It's going to need something for us because we don't want to end this season on a Debbie Downer after a stressful couple of weeks, some bad results in the league, dropping out of the Europa League. We really want to get back on that high horse and get in there. Get on not high horse. That's a moral thing, but you know what I mean. Get back on it and get back in the goals. That's what we need. That's what we crave. And this is going to be a big moment for that. And if we can somehow manage it, then that'll be beautiful. But the teams are out. They're about to kick off. Crystal Palace are the ones to do it on my screen. Of course, I will be slightly behind you because of the NIITS, but I will have a timer in the top corner which says exactly how far behind I am. Crystal Palace to kick off, and we're underway. Come on, you Irons. Deploy the boys. It's time to run 2 things. Deploy the European champion. That's what I'm talking about. That's the vibe we're here for. And good to see you, by the way. So, how are you? Hope you're well. Right, here we go. West Ham gain possession of the ball. Just wait for Mateta to come towards Fabianski, collects it. So I just want to sort of see if there are any surprises sprung formationally. I don't think there will be. Fabianski with the long kick. Uncharacteristically poor from him, although I like the low trajectory of it. Uncharacteristically poor from him. Something that I love about him compared to Areola. There you go. Poor kick from Henderson. Emerson collects it instantaneously. Yeah, you've got James Ward-Prowse in the 10 position as opposed to Souček. And in the press moment there, before we won possession back, where it was at Dean Henderson's foot, you had James Ward-Prowse pushing really far forward, getting alongside Mikel Antonio to just try and maybe look for a little bit of that pressing success we saw against Leverkusen. Again, I wouldn't expect it to be anywhere near as intense as what we were doing. Mikel Antonio does well there. Looked like he lost the ball, but manages to win it back. Paqueta passes it back. That's something that what worries me a little bit about Paqueta. I was thinking about this after the Leverkusen game, was maybe we were better without him for that game specifically, just because the intensity could be higher, just because Paqueta wants naturally to slow the game down. Whereas in this game, I think that'll benefit us more. But that might be galaxy braining it a bit, if you know what I mean. Might be galaxy braining it a bit. There are bells available. That and there are what do you call it? That's what I'm looking for. Oranges. They're both available. I went to the shops before this. This is where I said to you, I was busting my foot and I was struggling to get back. It was from the shops and I had bells on me. So we do have those. Elise looks to try and take it past 2 men. Alvarez managed to get a foot in. Nice little flick round the back from James Ward-Prowse. Kudus plays it out wide to Sufal. It's not necessarily a bad option, but I think maybe the blinkers were on a little bit and he knew what he was going to do before the Kents. I think I'm overly critical of Kudus, do you know what I mean? So did Paqueta down. We're getting a play on here, but Paqueta did go down quite significantly there. He's still down as we play on with the ball. He's going to get back up. Did the video ever come out? Because if it was, I missed it. I need to watch it after this. After I catch up with the Formula One and the wrestling. What's the word I'm looking for? Singing and dancing. High School Musical. Did that video ever come out? Because I need that in my life. Paqueta's back up. The commentator was just saying it might be interesting to see when the ball gets go out of play whether the Crystal Palace player will receive a talking to or a card or anything. Again, Paqueta gets the ball and Wharton comes snapping in at him, this time really cleanly getting the ball away, but I think he's going to be on top of him every single time Paqueta collects the ball. Crystal Palace come away with it 3 minutes in. They look to try and work their way up the right-hand side. Can't quite make it work. Back to Nathaniel Klein. Elise sort of dropping slightly more central into that half space. Yeah, High School Musical 2. That's exactly what I was thinking about, yeah. There have been. It was the Chinese Grand Prix. There was a sprint race yesterday, and then I watched the sprint, but I didn't. The worst thing is I was up in time to watch the match, to watch the race this morning. It was at like 8 a.m. and just didn't even my brain didn't even go, oh, I should watch that. But yeah, the first race back at the Shanghai circuit after since 2019. Oh, Thomas Souček goes in. That's a free kick. Interesting that wasn't a play on, but yeah, Thomas Souček he fouls Will Hughes there and instantaneously points towards where Paqueta went down. No cards either way from the ref. He just gives a warning to both. Maybe not a warning, just a stern talking to both Hughes and Souček. Yeah, I mean the Hughes one is significantly worse than the Souček one, if we're being honest about it. I think he's just sort of warned them both after the initial thing. Souček getting gripsy with Wharton there in the area. It's going to be a free kick wide on the left-hand side, almost on the touchline, about 35 yards away from goal, something like that. It's going to be a deep corner, whipped in. Ogbonna at the back post gets his head to it just ahead of, I think it was Anderson, and it's going to be a corner to Crystal Palace. Really proud of those videos. That actually helped me. First of all, sick. Second of all, you should be. They bang. They're great. Yeah. And they've got pictures of Joe everywhere. Like I was watching Ted Kravitz do like pitbull stuff. And there's just pictures of him everywhere. It's kind of sick for a driver like him, to be fair. It's going to be a corner to Crystal Palace. Eze to take it. Outswinger, headed away. Back down from Wharton. Finds Eze once again in the corner quadrant. Back on that right-hand side. Looks to take on Emerson, who's sort of just standing him up in a nice way. Kudus comes charging out, completely misses it. Eze manages to find some space in the centre. West Ham battling for it. There's like so many shirts there. Crystal Palace can't. All they can is a dink in. Elise gets his head to it. It's 1-0 Crystal Palace. It's 1-0 Crystal Palace. There were so many white shirts just swarming around, and Crystal Palace were looking for a way to break it down. Kudus came flying out and left a little bit of space, but they never really took advantage of it. They end up shifting across to the side as the ball gets played across to Will Hughes on the far right, left-hand side, and as it's crossed back across the box, Elise sort of running backwards does really well to get his head onto it, and it's one of those ones where because the momentum's the other way, all you've got to do is nod it in the other direction. It's not a particularly strong, incredible, it's not one of these headers that you're going to see time and time again, but it's just the placement that's necessary in that moment, and it's a good run from him late actually. comes in behind Ogbonna and Emerson. Emerson's slightly playing him on side, head behind him. Ogbonna has no idea he's there. Ball back across is nice, and it's a solid header. It's 1-0. It's not what you like to see at all. It's not what you like to see at all, because we were defending sort of okay, but he just came in late there. It made a smart run in behind Ogbonna, ahead of Emerson. Emerson can see him, Ogbonna can't, and he ends up just cushioning the header past Fabianski. 1-0. A really poor start. Really poor start for us. It's not what we need at all. But thankfully, I don't think it will change how Crystal Palace go about the rest of the game at all. I think it will stay the same, which is beneficial to us. But at the same time, man. It's a good cross from Anderson. He just sort of dinks it back towards the goal, and Elise sort of backpedaling, and it's a nice header down, just cushioning it. Fabianski could probably do better. Oh, that's a big ball across. Eze gets the control. Blade short to Mateta, who takes one touch inwards and then absolutely blasts it over. I don't know if it took a touch off Kurt Zouma, who was there getting the block. It was Mitchell. It wasn't Mateta. I thought it was Mateta. Big boot. The ball in was nice. Eze controls it so nicely, finds Mitchell, who arrives, cuts it onto his weaker foot, and then the shot under pressure from Kurt Zouma, just, leant back, weak foot, just over the bar. That one different from the first one as well, which is a little bit concerning. If we're conceding opportunities in two separate different ways, Kudus gets taken down there. No, okay, thought that was a free kick, but none of the players claim for it, so Crystal Palace can come away with it. As an easy pass into the centre for Elise there. Thankfully, he gets crowded out by Alvarez and Paqueta. Flick forward to Antonio. Nice. James Ward-Prowse first time pass to Paqueta. Looking to try and build up now. Can we get Emerson and Paqueta going towards it? Paqueta, I mean, I'll be honest with you, he missed the poor pass there. He's got a lot of question marks to raise here. And Emerson is not back at all as Crystal Palace attack down that wing. Edson is trying to cover for him. Thankfully, they end up passing it into a dead end. Edson Alvarez does really well there. Elise manages to nutmeg Paqueta. And it goes out for a throw. Antonio, we win the ball back from the throw in, quickly charging forward. This is that Mikel Antonio you love to see. He just takes too long, and Will Hughes does brilliantly to fly back and stop Mikel Antonio from getting forward there. He needed to play the ball earlier to Kudus. He did really well to initially grab the ball and spin and just charge it forward, but yeah. Okay, good. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it massively. And by the way, you should be proud. The first one's really good. The first video is really good. And I'm hyped for the second one. Yeah, I mean, not for spoilers if anyone hasn't seen any of the stuff this weekend, but the fire stuff, it's just a wild place. It's just a wild track the Chinese Grand Prix. You know? The fire stuff just is mad to me. Notified her. The NIITS letting me down a little bit. Little something else would be nice. Please. This is one of the things I'm really scared of about going out of Europe, by the way. If we're not on TV more, because we're going to get Saturday 3 p.m. to kick off all the time, watch logs are going to be a nightmare. Watch logs are going to be a complete and utter nightmare. There we go. We're back. We're back. It's going to be just the worst. Good to see you, Jonathan. Hope you are. I don't think this is the thing. I was saying this to Geo Gonzo earlier, but I honestly feel like there's whenever I don't pay any attention to what Moyes says ever, just because he's only going to say what's beneficial to him. And I feel like at the moment there's so much benefit to him just saying what's gonna benefit him for public perception in the short term than anything else. He's never going to admit any faults because he's probably going to be. The chances are he's going to be looking for a new job in the summer, and so he's not going to start publicly claiming problems. It's silly of him. I don't know. Which is annoying because when you make videos about it, you still have to pay attention to stuff he says, but I don't. I just try to avoid it at all costs. It's probably why I don't get as annoyed about stuff he does as much as most people do. Oh, Bonner, that's shaky. Thankfully, he manages to get the ball back to Fabianski, but there's a moment there where he just looks both ways and Soufal, terrible control. And he's fuming about it. Crystal Palace get the throw in a very advanced position. Mateta looking to try and turn Kurt Zouma, who just is physically saying to him, no. Will Hughes goes down. Under the challenge of Kudus, it's going to be a free kick wide on the left-hand side, almost in the exact same position as the previous one. Seen stuff going? No, I haven't. But I haven't seen any rest. I haven't seen no wrestling this week. So, or unless this is outside of it, then whipped in, headed away from Souček. Then I haven't seen that either because I've been missing all the news because I've actually had a sleeping pattern this week. He said that Eze does well to continue on the ball. Looked like he might have gone out, but he does well to keep it. Looking for the overlap was bold there. Miscommunication between Fabianski and Zouma. That's the sort of thing Fabianski is usually really good at. Is paying attention and the communication with the back line. They're not great. Throw in, looking for Antonio quickly. I like the idea, but it was too slow. And Palace come away with the ball again. Nathaniel Klein looks to try and whip it in, and this is it. Mikel Antonio collects the ball, but such a heavy touch. Back at it. Why can't we defend for crap, says Artel? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's above my pay grade. I mean, part of me would point to the fact we've got a broken Kurt Zouma and a very, very, very old and broken Angelo Ogbonna at centre back. But outside of that, who knows? Alvarez dives in a little bit there, but it's going to be a throw in. It's clean enough, but it was scary, almost rash. But yeah, I couldn't explain it. Hughes just plays it back. It's not a great throw in, but they retain possession of the ball, which is not something we can ever talk about. So, you know. Thomas Souček ends up passing it back to Kurt Zouma. There's no real options for him apart from Ogbonna. And he tries to play it forward. It's terrible with his weak foot. And Elise's charging forward. Finds Mateta on the overlap. Save! Oh, it's 2-0. And it's emphatic from Meribice Eze. That is what... just very simple pressing there at the back. You press Zouma and Ogbonna. Why are we scared to play it long? What's the stupidity here? Why are we scared to play it long? We have Mikel Antonio. It's because we were too far forward. We tried to come a little bit forward with the ball. Kurt Zouma has it at his feet. He has no real options because Crystal Palace have pressed us just ever so slightly and not in a sort of big, massive way, just cutting out those passing lanes to mean that his only option there was to pass it backwards to Ogbonna, and that was it. And instead, he tries to go for a risky pass forward to Mikel Antonio. We are desperate to get the ball to Antonio. We just keep going for him, regardless of everything. It's awfully done. Crystal Palace cut it out. The ball's at Michael Elise's feet, who plays a nice through ball round the back for Mateta, who hits it. Fabianski manages to get the save with his foot, but it comes up perfectly for Eze right next to him and emphatically hits a scissor kick. Incredibly hits a scissor kick. And within 16 minutes, it's Crystal Palace 2, West Ham 0. And we are failing with the most basic stuff, the most basic things. And I don't understand why. That's such... If you're in that position, just punt it long. Don't try and play some stupid on the ball. You're like, no offense to Kurt Zouma, right? And I don't mean this offensively, but you're not even there for Ged. You're not a passer. Just punt it. Just punt it, bruv. I don't know what he was even beginning to think about, playing a risky pass with his weak foot from the back to a guy who was man-marked. It's wild to me. What is that decision making? It's insanity. We seem almost desperate to get the ball to Mikel Antonio today, and I don't know why. There he was trying to get the ball to Mikel Antonio. You have the throw out from Fabianski that was straight to Mikel Antonio. You have the long flat kicks going straight to Mikel Antonio. We seem desperate for it, and I don't understand why in positions like that, where he's not in a good scenario, you are desperate to get it to him. So desperate that you would make a risky pass like that, just punt it at him. Then at least he's going to be able to get in round the back. Have the defenders running back. What we did against Leverkusen, where the defenders are then having to sprint backwards and it's a foot race between them and Antonio. It's silly. It's silly. I don't understand it. I can't understand it. Anyway, 2-0. 2-0. Don't waste the belt. Topher, listen, if the chat go for it, the chat go for it. It's up to them. It's up to the chat. Paquetá's gone down again. By the way, what I said earlier about it being a massive game for him, it's only getting bigger, and so far I haven't seen anything to suggest that he's up to the task, but Paquetá takes the free kick. James Ward-Prowse was there, but he takes it. It's a nice ball across to Kurt Zuma, but why you would play such a strong ball to Kurt Zuma? The decision-making of these people, just poke myself in the eye, the decision-making of these people is just confusing. What are you lot thinking? At what point did Paquetá think pinging a crossfield ball to Kurt Zuma on his chest when he's about to get pressed was a good idea? At what point did Kurt Zuma think playing the ball out from the back is a good idea? It's so confusing. What is the decision-making process? What is in between their temples? Have a double bell. Solid. It might be the only way to deal with it. I can't lie. It might be the only way to deal with it. Free kick comes in way over the top. Thomas Souček can't get there. He battles with Muñoz. Wins the throw in at least. Emerson comes across to take it. Right, okay, what can we do from here? I mean, we're terrible at throw-ins to begin with, but at least and we can't even revert to just a long throw. Short to James Ward-Prowse. To Emerson. Looks to try and whip it across. It takes a deflection and sort of lands nowhere. Mateta sort of dropping deep in that way that Boniface was, and now Crystal Palace can counter-attack again. It's with Elise. Ogbonna tries to come across and cover. James Ward-Prowse is covering. Back across to Will Hughes. Finds Eze. He's got Mitchell on the overlap. Can't find him. He at least lays it short to Hughes. Mitchell back in the corner quadrant on the left-hand side, looking to try and get the cross back into Hughes. Dips it. Oh my God, that is awful. It's 3-0. That is one of the worst pieces of defending I've seen in a long time. That is god-awful defending. That is atrocious. And again, what I've said about Fabianski, he's usually good at this, so I don't know what the hell's just happened. The ball gets dinked across, and it's right next to both Emerson and Fabianski, right? They're stood maybe, 2-3 meters apart? It can't be that far apart. And for some reason, they both just fall over each other. What even happened there? And then it's just tapped in by Muñoz at the back post, but he doesn't even celebrate like it's not even his goal. What happened there? So, ball gets to Mitchell. He lays it short to Hughes, who just dinks it into that space. Jesus Christ, that's god-awful. Emerson, that is by far the worst that defending is horrendous. Emerson moves towards the ball. They are at most a meter apart. Does Emerson touch it last? Is that an own goal? I don't really care if it's an own goal or not. It looks like an Emerson own goal. Him and Fabianski just sort of stare at each other. Emerson looks like he goes for it. Then for some reason pulls back, but doesn't really go for it, but also goes for it. And then takes a touch. Oh. What the hell? What happened there? At what point did... it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day, everyone. I've seen bad defending before. I've seen Roger Johnson against Manchester City. I've seen bad defending. I don't even know what the hell that was. I'm flabbergasted. What even was it? What even was that? I can't get my head around what that was. I've just seen so many instances in all of the goals of some of the stupidest decision making I've ever seen on a football pitch. Just unbelievably bad decision making. Be it the awful passing out from the back, be it just stupid, be it lack of communication between them. I can't get my head around how dumb that is. I wish I could, Maverick. I wish I could. I could go for a nice little walk now. I can't lie. I could go for a nice little walk. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Oh. Well, at this point, at least I don't have to care about what happens. Do you know what I mean? Before this, I was caring a little bit. Now, who gives a crap? Who cares? We're not scoring free. I said I couldn't see Palace scoring free. Oh, I'm a joke. I'm actually a joke. Nice little flick by Mateta. Shot from range from Elise. Sorry, from Eze. Goes wide. Nice little flick there from Mateta. It's going to happen again. I'm going to have to make another compilation, aren't I? Oh, Christ. Oh, Christ. Just talk about anything else? I might do at some point. At some point. David Moyes is having a frank conversation with the fourth official. Billy McKinley's on the sidelines screaming. If I was some of the players, I would be quite afraid. Billy McKinley showed himself to be a right little sort after the last game, going after whoever it was, Paqueta battling for it. He does well to win the ball, to be fair to him. And then makes a horrendous pass, which we lose the ball out to. Nice touch from Elise to Mateta. Oh, that's a really nice pass across to Mitchell, thankfully. They miss. What is the positioning of these players, by the way? Palace seemingly have the entire pitch. I know there's 11 players, but I physically can't see where they all are. It's incredible. It's a free kick in a really strong position for Crystal Palace, about 22 yards away from goal, something like that. Elise taken out by James Ward-Prowse, who is finding himself incredibly deep for playing number 10. Unbelievably deep. Don't really know why that's happened or how that's happened, but it's kind of incredible. There are definitely 11 players on the pitch. I saw them come out, but there doesn't seem to be anyone there. It's mad. It's utterly mad. Eze and Elise standing over it. It's going to be a free kick. That's the vibe I like, Scampy. If we score one, let's score another one, we're back in it. Elise hits it, save by Fabianski. Wasn't that good of a hit, to be honest. That's the vibe of it. It's not going to I can't see us. I mean, I can see us scoring. I can see us scoring metaverse where they're saying, look, I can see us getting a goal. God knows where from. But I can see us getting a goal. Big boot from Fabianski looking for Paqueta. Loses the header. Forward can come Crystal Palace again. But God knows where from. Wharton lays it short. To Hughes into Eze, who's somehow gotten behind again and fires it over. God knows, where are you lot? Where are they? Legitimately, where are they? It's like, it's just baffling. I'm watching. Oh, I'm just watching it. I'm watching. There's a bunch of white shirts on the pitch, but I'm not sure they're football players. It could be ghosts. Maybe that's what it is. Because Crystal Palace are playing through them like they are. It's incredible. They're incorporeal beings. They're just sliding through. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Antonio fouls Elise. He's in a bad mood. Yellow card for Mikel Antonio makes sense. He's having a bad time. He's done with it. Yeah, I agree with you, Navidius. Ogbonna contract, as much as I love him, he's too old for us. Zuma wasn't finished. Yeah, I think Zuma dropping off a cliff this season wasn't part of the plan, but I think Ogbonna was probably always going to leave. I think the drop off of a cliff he's had, again, just becoming an absolute liability. I mean, we really have one centre back at the club, and it's Mavropanos, and he's not available today. So yeah, Ward-Prowse taking too long on Wharton, who just battles for it, and they win possession of the ball again. This is such an awful performance, by the way. This is incredible. This is so unbelievably bad from us. Elise is literally spinning round in circles. There's no one even near him. And I don't mean that in an Anthony way. I just mean it in a like, is someone going to get close to him? No? Okay. Crystal Palace is 28 minutes into the game, by the way, and the Crystal Palace fans are olaying. Just as a quick update, the Crystal Palace fans are olaying as they pass it round, kind of aimlessly. Elise plays it short to Eze. They're in their own half at the moment, but we're nowhere even close to them. Again, they're playing around in that middle of the pitch, that middle third where we usually drop off. And we're not like I said it before the game. I said we'd play like this before the game. I didn't think we would be god awful, but I knew this was the style we would play. But they're playing around in that middle third where we tend to drop off. And we're watching them do it instead of pressing him. Emerson, you're a joker, bruv. You're an absolute joker. Mateta in the box. Thankfully, it's a poor cross. Late arrival from Mitchell. Elisa looks to try and hit it first time. Souček looks to try and dink it away. Kudus. Antonio gets taken. Dispossessed very easily, and Crystal Palace can come away with the ball. Yeah, they're playing around in that. It's one of our biggest problems we've always had under David Moyes is when teams play into that, when they get into that middle third, we just drop off to defend. And if you can get forward enough to play around in that middle third, you just hem us in. Elise looking for a shot from range, far and wide. Yeah, and when you play around in that space, we just don't attack. We just don't do anything. And they were sort of passing it up and down the midfield line, and it's just watching us stand there and watch it, and it's like, what's even the point, you know? What's even the point? It's so dumb to watch. Ogbonna plays it short to Emerson. Again, we're playing stupid passes around when they're under pressure already. We've done this to our teams. What are we doing? Paqueta turns his man nicely and then plays an awful pass to Antonio, who looks visibly frustrated yet again. Paqueta does nicely to turn, but again, we're just playing. What are we doing? I don't understand Is that David Sullivan Jr.? Bloody hell. Bloody hell, David Sullivan Jr. looks different, doesn't he? The glasses are mad. I just don't get what we're doing. Paqueta. We somehow managed to get the ball away. James Ward-Prowse finds Kudus, who loses out on the ball instantly. Eze to Elise in the box. Mateta's there. It's 4. 31 minutes in. 31 minutes in. Again, I wish to ask, where are the players? Like, actually, where are they? Because yet another example of just ghosting through. Just moving through them, bro. It's incredible. Is there a single person on the football field? I'm not convinced there is. I'm not convinced a single one of our players exists. I'm watching a bunch of just ridiculous ghosts on a football pitch. It's unbelievable. Nice ball round the back for Elise, who's onside. Finds Mateta, who's onside. Who's in the centre, in between both Ogbonna and Kurt Zuma, neither of whom can get even remotely close to him. And it's slotting. Oh my God, goal music. I'm listening to goal music. The ultimate in rubbing it in. Goal music starts. Oh my God. I forgot about that. I forgot about the goal music. Oh Christ, if it wasn't bad enough, I have to listen to goal music. I like Crystal Palace. I like Crystal Palace fans. You can't have goal music. You just can't. I'm sorry. You just can't. I'm genuinely not sure a single football player exists at West Ham United. I'm watching it, and there's just none. There's just none. Do a Coventry watch along. You know what? I'm just gonna open it up in another tab. I don't care at this point. Who cares, right? Let's get it open in another tab. I'm probably gonna be pushing the limits of the internet here, but screw it. Let's give it a swirl. Is it on? Don't they have a match on BBC today? Or is it on something else? Oh no, FA Cup's gone off BBC, isn't it? What's the FA Cup on now? What's it on? On ITV, thank you, ITVX. Thank you very much for the $1.99, Leon. Be careful what you wish for. Thank you very much. I'll lob that in the top corner in a second. In fact, I'll do it now. I don't need to watch the match. I'll do it now. Appreciate you, Leon. Thank you. Helps us out massively. Not just me, Geo Gonzo as well. In fact, it arguably helps them more. Klein, Bowser, I don't know who it was, on wide on the left-hand side, wide upon flag. It's going to be a deep corner. It was Emerson. Thank you very much, Leon. Name's in the top corner now. Can you do a Raw watch along instead? Percy, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. Right, now we play try and guess the password. Oh, he's got it right first time. There we go. Right, now what we do, let's do a bit of that. There we go. Right, let's see if the internet can handle me having the Coventry Man United match up in the corner as well. Corner comes in, header bounce over the top from Mikel Antonio, goes down emphatically. It's not a bad ball in from James Ward-Prowse, to be fair. Mikel Antonio at full stretch, just can't keep it down. No bells needed today. Yeah, I'm not going to bother with him today. I can't lie to you. I can't lie to you. I don't think even the chat are finding it today. Let's just get that volume up slightly. There we go. Thomas Souček just rolls through him. Just absolutely rolls through him. Hughes finds Mateta. Try to turn, can't quite manage it. There's so many white shirts back, and yet they'll still manage to get a shot away. Again, the cross in. Edison does well to come across and stop it, but... Oh, I wonder what the poll's saying. If you only eat whole cheeseburger, yeah, I ain't got that in me. So no, I'm going to have to stop the other stream. It's crashing everything. I want to badly, but I'm going to have to stop it. It was 0-0 anyway. Why would I watch a 0-0 when there's a 4-0 in front of me? Munoz just trying to dribble around, almost manages it. I'm surprised he didn't. I'm surprised there was literally anything. My God, have you ever wanted to be a fly on the wall at halftime more than this? This is how you know it's bad. Danny Smith, F it, I'm going to tile the bathroom. Danny, good luck, bro. Good luck. Enjoy it. Enjoy it in the knowledge that you don't have to watch this. You know? Could end the poll. Right, so of the 1.2k people who voted, 12% said draw, 23% said West Ham win, 63% said Crystal Palace. I think there's a VAR check going on. I'm going to start a new one. Will, come on, like work, please. It's not working. They're checking for a red card for something. I'm not sure what for. Kudus plays it back to Emerson. I'll be honest with you, I can't see it. I don't know what was happening, but there was a check for a red card. I think it's going to carry on, but I have no idea what the hell just happened. Will West. There you go. New poll instead. Will West Ham score? Screw it. Who cares? Like the video while you're here, by the way. We're at 404 likes. We're doing quite well. I don't know what I'll be honest with you. I completely missed what the potential red card was, but the BR said no, so we'll just move on with our lives. Played out wide to Elise. They're playing again in that middle third, and there isn't a single. I don't know what's the point. Why are we standing where we're standing? What's the actual point of doing that? Like, they're passing it around in the middle third, which is fine. Like, if they're going to play there and you want to sort of stand off a little bit, fine. But at least block the passing lanes. I don't get what the point in just standing there without blocking any sort of passing lanes is going to do. I'll tell you what, Antonio, who's just chasing it by himself, does well there. Souček's taken down. That's going to be a free kick. It's too far away for a James Ward-Prowse special. I'll be honest with you. It's way too far away for a James Ward-Prowse special. We're what, 40 yards away or something like that? Mikel Antonio is just chasing it by himself because there was no other options. Will Hughes, no yellow cards? Probably should get a yellow card, no? For accumulation of fouls. I'm surprised if he hasn't. Oh, he's got one. He has got one. Right, what are we going to do? James Ward-Prowse is standing over it. Again, you're talking 40 yards away. Yeah, it's way too far away. James Ward-Prowse has scored from this range, but this is Payet versus Manchester United. Maybe even further away than that. And they're not even standing as a wall. Yeah, he lays it short instead. To Soufal, whips it across. Header back across. Antonio! Right, we've scored. Poll over. We've scored. I'm ending it now. And I want to know who's great. 68% of people said no. You love to see it. Big. Antonio's hugely offside in the original. Antonio's going to count offside. He's 100% going to get counted offside. The ball comes in from Soufal. He's a mile offside, but the header back across from Souček. It's close. I'm not going to change the score yet because Mikel Antonio's head looked a bit offside. He does well to react to it. Henderson, it's in the middle ground. It's in no man's land. The middle ground's there. Henderson sort of decides to come out a little bit sooner. And I think Mikel Antonio is probably offside. When the header comes back across, I can't tell exactly. I don't know where the hell they're going to draw the line from. But his head, is definitely just ahead of Anderson. But I have no clue where they're going to draw the line. We'll find out. And I don't want to look at chat because obviously you'll be ahead. But I'm not going to put a 1 until it gets confirmed as a goal. Good assist from Souček with the head. Good finish from Mikel Antonio. And it shows how we should be getting in at them, but we're obviously not going to do it. Just waiting for the lines. We're in that beautiful VAR period now where we watch a screen of someone zooming in and out a little bit, but we don't get to see the lines until they're final. And so we're just watching it now and looking at it now. Even if they do his toes, he's going to be offside, isn't he? Yeah, Mikel Antonio. It's not confirmed yet, but he's offside. He's offside. He's offside. He's offside. Oh. Oh, he's on! He's on! Wait, is that confirmed? Has he scored? Hang on. It said on, but we've not got... This is so stupid. They're 4-0 up. Who cares? Wait. Let's celebrate. We scored! Let's celebrate like we scored! Yeah! Let's celebrate like it means and matters. Yes! Go! Come on, lads. Let's go. Oh, there's a positive. I can look at the chat now. Keith just won £25 on Match Bingo. Keith, congratulations. If everyone could congratulate Keith, let's be honest, that's what we're here for at this point. Congratulations, Keith, sir. Massive plays. Massive plays. Right. I actually need to change the scoreline, don't I? Shockingly, I need to change the scoreline. Somehow that poll works. Let's lob another one in, shall we? Let's just farm the polls. Let's just farm the polls. That's clearly why we scored. Let's imagine that's the case. Will West Ham score? Open brackets, again, close brackets. There we go. Come on. The fact we've managed to score that easily, I'm not going to lie, is a little bit disgraceful. But at 4-0 down, it really doesn't matter for him. Should probably check my match bingo. Yeah, I'm close on a one line, but nothing else. Nothing else. The fact we've managed to score that easily is mildly disgraceful for Crystal Palace, but again, they've scored 4, so why the hell do they care? But listen, we've scored once, and I'm going to act like it matters. The comeback is... That's what I'm saying, though. The comeback is on. Let's pretend. Let's pretend. Polls on polls, exactly, Kios. It's just... You know? Since I started doing polls on if West Ham will score, all of a sudden we're in possession of the ball. We're up against them, you know? Yeah. Long throw in from Mikel Antonio. Can't get it in. Headed back out to Mikel Antonio, a striker on the left wing. That's kind of where you want to see him. But Ward-Prowse looks to whip it in. Nodded on from Kurt Zouma. Back post. There's something there. Hit. Oh. I'm not entirely certain what happened, but it ends with Henderson with both hands on the ball. It was incredibly close to a second goal there. Big ball comes into the box from James Ward-Prowse. Nice cross, to be fair. And it's a little bit short, but Kurt Zouma with the nod on. Yeah, he's offside, to be fair. Both Kudus and Zouma are offside. Kudus gets control down, volleys it first time. That's going to be offside. And then Thomas Tuchel fighting for it. That's not quite happening. Yeah. First of all, good to see you. Second of all, good to see you actually able to message. Second of all, yeah. It's been god awful. It's like watching... there's just no players on the football pitch. It's incredible stuff. It truly is. 7 minutes of additional time. My timer's ahead. Not that it matters, but 7 minutes of additional time. Paqueta with a foul on Michael Elise. Remember when he was at Reading and we wanted to buy him, and then we didn't buy him? Remember when Eze was at QPR? We wanted to buy him. He was David Moyes' first choice. We didn't buy him. Who did we buy again? Ben Rama. That was it. Okay, sure. Our squad building's shocking, isn't it? It's unbelievable at times. Emi Saka on the other. Listen, if there are better things to watch than this football match, and Emi Saka is usually better than West Ham in general, but you know, what a legend. Whipped in from Elise from the resulting free kick. Zouma gets a head onto it. It's going to be a corner. Worse than Fulham away. Arsenal, any positives at all? I mean, we scored unbelievably easily. Like, it should not have been as easy as it was. It was, don't get me wrong, it was an okay goal. It was an okay goal, but, like, it was too easy. It was whipped in from Soufal on the right. Thomas Souček nods it on into a nice space and Antonio scores. But the fact we scored that easily should make it all the more frustrating that that's like the only thing we've done. Well, almost 5. That it's been that long, that we've been that incapable of scoring the rest of the time, if that makes sense. Like, we just... Like, defensively, I've genuinely never seen a West Ham performance like... It's unbelievable how many stupid mistakes and just unbelievable pieces of movement and just completely ignoring everything there. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know how to talk about it. It is awful. It's god awful. But you know. Paqueta on the ball. Controls it, plays it out. Poor pass from Paqueta. Like I said, big game for him, and he's done nothing but flop so far. I hate to say it because I love him, but you know, what can you do? Ogbonna. It's just so easy to force us back like that, isn't it? It's so easy when you've got Ogbonna and Zuma at centre back together. If you're not doing backs against the walls, Arsenal style all out defending, you just can't play with those two centre backs. They're both broken. They're both absolutely broken. Just the mildest bit of pressure and instantaneously they run backwards. They run backwards. But you've done well, Adam. You've done well. You've done very well. Eze's turn on the half turn is just so nice. Mugs off Soufal on the way through. He's just so good, isn't he? Like, Elise's the one everyone talks about, but Eze's so good. And he's been playing almost this target man role today, and his control down, all that stuff is so nice. Someone's just claimed 2 lines on Match Bingo, so whoever it is, congratulations if you're in the chat. Adam, your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine. Oh, do you know what, Dave? We'll get involved with that. We'll get involved with that. Just every so often, I'm just going to ask for a new poll. By the way, 53% of people said West Ham no to get scoring game right. Which is better? Holmes under the hammer. What was the other one? Kashniatic. Was it Kashniatic? Let me double check. Yeah, it was Kashniatic. Cash in the attic. Might have to end it at halftime. People will come in at halftime and be like, what the hell is going on here? But yeah, I strongly agree with you, Trini. And I don't even rate Agerd that highly, and I strongly agree with you. I think you have to have at least one. You have to have Mavropanos has to play every single game, and then whoever partners him, it should be Agerd, and if not, then it has to be Zuma, and then if not, then worst case scenario. But my lord, the amount of this squad in the summer. Jesus Christ, this squad in the summer. We're desperate for City. We cannot go. I don't know. Conversations for the summer. Don't waste the videos for the summer. All I know is bad. Kashniatic is Dion Doblin on that show. No. He's in Homes Under the Hammer. Homes Under the Hammer. I don't think he's in Kashniatic as well, or is he? No, he is in Homes. I mean, no, it's Homes Under the Hammer. I'm pretty certain. I might be crazy though. On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is it watching it? 10. CBA. I could barely be asked before the match. And at this point, Adam, I'll be honest with you. Holmes under the hammer for me. I respect it. I can respect it. I feel like Holmes under the hammer has a better theme. That's Holmes under the hammer, isn't it? I like that theme song. It's weird. Out of all the home shows you get midday, there's a fight on the pitch. Souček getting involved. Soufal getting involved. I'm not sure what happened. I think it was Soufal and Mitchell. Maybe. The referee's calling Mitchell back. And Soufal looked to try and follow him. Zuma's there talking to him. Yeah, Souček's there having a conversation with the ref as well. It's a yellow card for Mitchell and a yellow card for Thomas Souček. Man United won a lot. Respect it. Can we have ketchup versus mayonnaise? Yeah, right. It's got a good sized kitchen. I'll do ketchup versus mayonnaise after halftime. Dion's great in that show. I'm 3 episodes in on Fallout, William. I'm loving it. Dion's great in that show. He's great in that show, you know. And Brian Gunn on Twitter just ripping it non-stop. He's having a grand old time. Ball headed back from Angelo Ogbonna. There is the halftime whistle. Halftime. Crystal Palace 4. West Ham United 1. CBA. I have never seen a defensive performance that bad, I don't think. I probably have. But a bunch of reportedly rumoured to be semi-capable footballers played through at a disgracefully easy rate. And by played through, I mean there felt like at times we literally didn't have a football player on the pitch. It was just unbelievable to watch. In a sense, Geo, quick question. How many players do we have on the pitch? Because I'm not entirely certain there was any of them at one point.
None of them deserve to be on the pitch, that's for sure. Pathetic. Absolutely fucking pathetic from everybody involved today. Every single person on that pitch from today, not good enough. Not good enough for one of them. There are a few players who are worse than others, but the attitude, poor. The performance even worse. They don't even look arsed, half of them. They don't even look too bothered that we were 4-0 down. It's embarrassing, pretty much from the first minute up until the half-time whistle. It got to the point we scored. I wasn't even that bothered. I mean, how that it looked incredibly offside, Antonio. I don't know how that suits. Don't really care, to be honest with you. But that is pathetic from every single one of our players. The manager will cop some flack, and you're going to when you're the manager of a team that's 4-1 down at half-time. But those players, Jesus, those players will get off with that from a lot of people because of the dislike and uncertainty over David Moyes' future.
Yeah.
But pathetic from those players out there. Why are they not offended? You know, there's a lot of talking going on between the players and stuff. Why are they not getting pissed off with each other? It's almost like with the Palace go, oh, well, they've scored another one. Oh, they've scored another one. There's just nothing. There's no reaction from half of that team out there today. Not good enough.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, and again, this isn't what Gio's saying there and what I'm saying here isn't to defend David Moyes in any way, shape, or form before anyone says it. But like, some of the decision making I've seen on that football pitch is inexplicable. Kurt Zuma has the ball at his feet, right? And just a mild bit of pressing, just cutting off the passing lane slightly, and he thinks, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to play a risky pass with my weak foot to Mikel Antonio, who's already marked. And it's little moments like that, the little decisions like that you look at and you just think, what the hell are you thinking? The bit with Emerson and Fabianski, what the hell is going on? One of the things I like about Fabianski is I feel like usually he has control of these things and there's a lot of communication going on. And you look at it and the ball gets played into a position and neither of them know what the hell's going on. And it's these little things. And again, to be clear, this is not to defend Moyes. I just want to say that because I know it will become, people will be like, oh, yeah, but Moyes. Bruv, I don't understand the decision-making from a bunch of reportedly professional football players. Because not only is the decision-making terrible, but the positioning's gone. They just walked through us consistently.
The thing is, right,
it's mad.
People say, oh, you're defending Moyes, but that's like we're not, but let's just say we were. That means reverse that. That means if you're only blaming Moyes, you're defending the players after that performance. So what? The performance from Ogbonna, Zuma, Emerson are all fine today. They're all playing good, are they? Because if you're only going to blame Moyes, that means you're justifying the performances of the players. They're all to blame. Moyes is to blame. Fabianski is to blame. Antonio is to blame. Every single one involved today at West Ham is to blame for that first half. There's not one person that comes out of that blame list. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
Pathetic, every single one of them. The manager's to blame, but the players are to blame just as much, if not more, because of not even their decision making. It's the attitude, the lack of heart, the lack of fight. When Antonio sort of piggybacked on Elise and kicked him, at least there's a bit of aggressive there. He's not being good enough, Antonio. His first touch is horrific today. He looks like he's knackered before kickoff. Yeah. But at least there was something there from it. Oh, there's a guy that's pissed off that we're losing. At last, somebody that looks embarrassed to be playing for West Ham in the first half after that. Because there's one or two, I'll say, Paqueta doesn't look bothered at all at what's happening. He honestly doesn't look like he's arsed. James Ward-Prowse showed a little bit for one point, which was good. But Kurt Zuma doesn't look like he's arsed whatsoever. That's our captain. Doesn't look bothered. We're concerned about having a chat with the referee over Souček and Mitchell squaring off against each other. Pathetic from everybody.
Yeah. I'll be back in a minute, Gio. See you in a second.
Anyway, right, Charlie's gone. Let's see what you lot are saying. Let's see what you're saying in the live chat. Right, who one of you are responsible. One of you wished for this. You were warned. You've been warned for ages. Be careful what you wished for. Who? That Sports West Ham, not Palace fan. One of you must have wished for this. Don't like it. Let's see what you're all saying then. Brad said, blame everyone. Moyes, Steiden, no ball, anyone involved in the shit show that we've been served up since the new year. Absolutely disgusting. I agree 100% with what Brad just said. Aiden said they're all completely exhausted, body and mind. I expected a drop-off after Thursday, but this is embarrassing. I completely agree with everything Aiden has just said there as well. It's not why I've clicked on them, by the way. I've not clicked on them because I'm agreeing with them. Let's see if there's anyone I disagree with. Not to pick on them. Just John says Paqueta doesn't care. He is off-ski. David said, can you blame the players when they get set up in the same way it doesn't work? Okay, so Davis, are you saying that you think all the players are giving 100% out there in the first half? Is that what you're saying? I don't know. I don't know what you're saying. Can you blame the players? Of course you can. I'm blaming the players. I'm blaming Moyes as well, but I'm blaming the players too. Fabianski coming for that cross. Is that tactics? Did David Moyes say to Lucas Fabianski, do not leave your line at any point? Is that a tactical thing? And listen, Moyes is to blame, but it's got to be the players as well. The players as well. I've seen someone say Moyes motivates them. What? So Moyes doesn't motivate them. They can just not turn up. I'm not having that. Like, I want Moyes gone, maybe not as much as the next person. I want Moyes gone at the end of the season, have done for a long period of time now. And he's not blameless for today. He's not. But he's not 100% to blame. Because like I said, if you're only going to blame the manager, then you're almost excusing the players for that first 45 minutes. They're all to blame, in my opinion. Every single one of them. They're knackered. Well, Paqueta and Emerson had a week off. They look like they played 90 minutes and plus extra time. I watched Arsenal and Man City over the last 2 days, not comparing ability-wise. They looked knackered, but they turned up with the right attitude, the right tactics, and they got the job done against Chelsea and Wolves. We've turned up with neither today. Absolutely crap from everybody involved at West Ham today. Stephen said it goes back to the lack of recruitment in January and Moyes' lack of faith in what few players he has on the bench. The players look tired and disillusioned. Correct. Absolutely correct. Michael, I don't know what Derek said. I don't know what Derek said, Michael, but I'll keep on. Let's see what you guys are saying. Bree said it's hard to blame the players when it's their bits of individual brilliance that's got us a record points haul before Christmas. Then the systemic failures have been exposed. This is the result. Artel says they're clearly not playing for Moyes' source. John says, agree with what others are saying. Tiredness should not kick in within 10 minutes. Brent said Moyes is to blame as a leader. No subs at 4-0. Why? Because at 2-0 he could have changed it. I agree with that. To be fair, I hope to see 4 subs. The reason I say 4, not 5, is just in case there's an injury in the second half. I would like to see 4 subs at halftime, minimum 3, at least 3 subs at halftime. What's the point of sending the same 11 out at halftime? It's not working. The players aren't up for it. He's got to bring out the changes. Lewis Orford, I'd get Orford on at halftime. He would be the first sub because our midfield is absolutely crap in the first half. There's nothing there. Even when Alvarez was in midfield before he moved to the back, they were just passing through us, finding that space in front of our back 4, now back 3. Lewis Orford would be my first substitution, to be honest with you. That would be my first one. I'd get Kone on for some energy down the side. Mubama on up front. I'd get him on up there. I'd be tempted to bring on Casey, but not sure I want to throw a youngster in that position into this game. If he's up for it, I would. And this is where you have to sort of judge what you can see. But if Casey's up for coming on, I'd probably bring him on. No point bringing on Creswell or Calvin Phillips, in my opinion. So that's maybe Ben Johnson. So that's what I would do. Johnson on for Sufal, Orford on. Don't know who for. Take your pick. Souček, Ward-Prowse, or Alvarez, and moving back up to your pick. Kone on for Paqueta and Mubama on for Antonio. That's what I would do. I'd bring on 3 or 4 players at halftime. I want to see a reaction from the manager here at halftime. I want to see a reaction. James says it's not acceptable by the players, but they spent. Listen, James, you'd have to argue with me that the players are tired. I've done plenty of videos for months about the lack of options and how unhappy I am with the January transfer window. You know, when we did the preview, we discussed about the fatigue creeping in. That's why I would have, for example, played Ben Johnson for this game, just for the fatigue, for the freshness coming in here. So I know the players are tired. I know that, but I think the players' attitude in the first 45 isn't acceptable, regardless of the manager. I don't think Moyes has done well enough or is blameless. I do not think that. I think they're all culpable for that half. That's what I would do. Marcus says, if people are going to say it's Moyes' fault that if people are going to say Moyes won this trophy, then by the same logic, is Moyes responsible for games like this? Players deserve to blame, but pundits should lose. I completely agree with everything that Archer has said there. Spiritual, who's a Crystal Palace fan, I think he's a Palace fan. He's not a West Ham fan anyway. Said, I tried telling you there was no chance for West Ham. You did, to be fair. To be fair, when the teams come out, I thought we'd lose the game. Not this badly, admittedly. Dave said, any burning embers and Moyes maybe staying up 100% being distinguished. Now, Dexter said, we're sick of the manager, we're sick of the media defending him because they feel him some kind of favour. Major feels sorry for Gonzo because he was optimistic. Yeah, I felt sorry listening to him be optimistic before the game. I was a bit worried, actually. But I'm never gonna piss on someone else's fire. When somebody's optimistic and excited, you don't want to just batter them down. Say, whoa, take that. It's a bit like when it's not the same, but similar. When West Ham fans want a change of manager and the pundits and that say, well, you're not allowed that. You be careful what you wish for you. So when somebody says, I think we're going to win today, even though I don't believe it, I'm not going to say, no, you're not allowed to think that. Let them think it. Hope is always good. Bro said the players have been disgraceful. Tubb said Palace have looked great as it is. Yeah, I completely agree. Irish said the picture of Tim Stein looks disgusting. He looked a bit pissed off. Perhaps interestingly, is that he sat next to David Sullivan as well, Junior. So not the David Sullivan, but David Sullivan. Ironix said you had to be realistic. Gonzo was being realistic. That was Gonzo's honest opinion. Gonzo thought we would win 2-1. That's anyway. He's not here to defend himself. I'm just defending him because he's not here. If he was here, let him defend himself. He only said a 2-1 win. He wasn't saying we're going to smash him. Brent said Palace fantastic to watch. Attacking, fast, youth, drive, everything we're not. Yeah, there was 3 managers I've liked. 3 managers I would have liked, and Glasner was one of them. So he's off the list. And I'm watching Palace now. A bit annoyed that he's gone to Palace even more. But Cresswell and Johnson's coming on.
Geo, any last words before you head off?
Just there's some phrases I dislike, but sometimes I actually reluctantly have to sort of go with. And one of them is like, that stupid phrase, it's 0-0 at halftime kind of thing. I hate it, right? Because it doesn't really work. But there is an element of me with that. Just go out there and just fucking play with some heart. Look show West Ham fans that you, manager, coaching team, players, captain, all of you are upset, embarrassed, and offended by what's happened in the first half. And give the away fans something to cheer in the second half and try and win the second half. So we'll still lose overall because I've got zero hope that we're going to get anything from this game, none whatsoever. But put in a performance in the second half that reduces the embarrassment to 45 minutes rather than 90 minutes. I would say let's try something with Cornet, with Mubama, with Orford. Clearly not, because it's Ben Johnson and Creswell coming on. I don't mind Johnson coming on for Soufal, but what's the point of bringing on Creswell? It's just fucking pathetic from him. Just try something. The game's done. Get Mubama on. Get Orford on.
He's trying a different formation, probably.
Try something. Just try something. Not panic. And honestly, I don't know who's brought them on for. I assume it's Emerson and Soufal. It feels like fucking damage limitation at 4-1 down away to Crystal Palace. We've got nothing to lose. Worst case scenario, finish 12th. There's not a relegation there. There's nothing to lose. What's the point of playing Slim Geo for the second half? There's nothing's going to happen. Nothing good can come up of Creswell playing in the second half. He has a good second half. That's it. Put Orford in. He has a good second half. There you go. You've got an option for the next game. Nothing good can come out those subs. Anyway, I'm waiting to watch the second half. I'm just...
Very quickly, Holmes under the hammer or cash in the attic?
West Ham,
That's fair, I respect it. Holmes under the hammer or cash in the attic?
Oh, Holmes under the hammer every day. Every day, all day. Dion Dublin, and there's the stairs to the bedrooms, and there's the stairs for me to go watch the second half. So I will.
All right, enjoy it.
I'll catch this slot at full time.
All right, see you, Gio. There you go, a strong Holmes under the hammer from Gio. The second half is going to get underway in a second. I'm trying to see. Soufal is still on the pitch. Soufal's still on the pitch, so I think we've gone to. It looks like to me a back five. Ogbonna off, Emerson's still on, and Soufal is still on. So I don't know who Johnson's come on for. Maybe Souček? I think Souček. Yeah, Souček. Right. So what we've done is we've taken off Ogbonna. Cresswell. Johnson's gone to centre back as well. Which, sure. And then we've taken off Souček. And yes, that's it, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There you go. That's the way it looks. So, that's our new lineup. Fabianski. Kudus, trying to nip his way in, can't quite manage it. Fabianski in goal. Then we have a back three of Johnson, Zuma, and Cresswell, with Emerson on one wing back and Soufal at the other wing back. And we then have a double pivot of Alvarez and James Ward-Prowse, with a front three of Paqueta, Antonio, and Kudus. And we'll see how that ends up playing out. My gut is that Paqueta will maybe play in the 10 position behind a front two, but we'll see. We'll see how sort of central Kudus is and how deep Paqueta gets. But Soufal tries to get the ball, nips it in, can't quite get there. Interesting to keep on James Ward-Prowse above Souček if you're playing a double pivot, but sure, whatever. You know. Soufal picks up the ball, plays it inwards to Alvarez. Paqueta calling for it, but he was marked, so we're going to play it around. Interesting. I'm not necessarily against it. Because if you can get your playing, part of the problem has been playing out from the back. We just can't do it because you have Zuma and Ogbonna, neither of whom can play out from the back, and they've just been pressing us so easily. But your Mateta, thank you. Okay, thankfully we cut it out. We cut it out. Edson cuts it out. But part of the problem is if you're in a scenario where you're trying to play out from the back, where you're getting forced into playing it around the back line, and you have Zuma and Ogbonna, you just can't do that because they're god awful at it. And so what do? Well, you bring on Johnson and Cresswell, who are better at playing the ball, in order to play out from the back, get your foot a bit more on the pit, get your foot a bit more on the ball, get a bit more control, and then with that you can then push Soufal and Emerson further forward. You can get sort of Paquetá more central. I understand it. I'm not necessarily against it. It's not exactly what I would want, but Antonio does poor, but Kudus can come away with the ball regardless. Kudus plays it out wide to the left-hand side. He's got Emerson out there. Paquetá's in the centre as is Antonio. Whips it in straight towards Dean Henson. Opportunity. So I'm not necessarily against it, but it's not what I would have gone for. Let me put it that way. But I can see the logic. Clock, Joan, thank you very much. You're 100% correct. You're 100% correct. There we go. Thank you, Joan. Appreciate it. And anyone else who claimed it's just Joan happened to be the first person I saw. Paquetá loses out on the ball. Forward come Crystal Palace. Whipped across. Eze picks it up. Decides to take it inwards for some reason. And Fabianski matches it with a solid save. I don't know why Eze decided to choose to take it further inwards when he could have just shot, but sure. I think he should have taken it first time. I mean, he could have and probably should have, and I'm not sure why he did. He tried to overplay it there, Palace. Takes a heavy touch, Eze goes inwards and then takes a shot after, and Fabianski matches it, which, fine, if you're a cop confidence levels, why not? But, like, realistically, should have probably just hit it first time. Interesting, we haven't had a corner yet, and then James Ward-Prowse is still on the pitch. Weird. Anyway, ball gets whipped in. But again, I guess a team who are pressing you, Souček's not exactly press resistant. Not that James Ward-Prowse particularly is. Kudus, please. I beg. Big boot forward. That's what I want. Just punt it. I don't care that it's crap. Just punt it forward. Just get us moving up the other end of the pitch. Get the ball away from us and get Antonio running. That's all we want. Their defenders running backwards. And look, we win the ball in high position. This is good. That's what you want. Poor ball from whoever that was. I don't know who it was. But it was a poor ball. But I like that idea. But yeah, I guess if you're trying to become press resistant, which we are with the back line, then you take off Souček because he's not exactly a press resistant kind of guy. So I guess that makes sense. James Ward-Prowse gets a foot in there. Paquetá spins under pressure from Adam Wharton. Nothing, no foul, says the ref. Wharton's decided, he tried to get up and call for it, but Paquetá's still down. Anyway. Right. Let's do that poll, shall we? Let's do that poll. Interested to see where the Homes Under the Hammer Cash in the Attic ends. It's a strong victory for Homes Under the Hammer. Cash in the Attic 35%, Homes Under the Hammer 64%. Over 500 people voted. You gotta respect it. What was the next one? It was best sauce. We need an extra sauce because we had ketchup, mayonnaise. I think it was Joan said lob brown sauce in there. Maybe was it Joan? Not sure. If it wasn't Joan, I apologise for giving you credit, Joan, and for stealing it from whoever else it was. We got brown, and then we need one more. Let me have a look. What are we saying? Burger, chili, barbecue, salad cream. Burger. I tell you what, burger was the first one to get 2 votes. We'll get burger in. We'll lob burger sauce in there as well. Best sauce, ketchup, mayonnaise, brown burger. No messing. Bosh. Bit more options there. Paquetá pushing the player there. Getting a bit in there. There we go. We'll lob that in for a while. Let's see where it lands. Garlic mayo. Yeah, I agree with you, Richard. I do like brown sauce, but only on specific things you can try. Yeah, exactly. This is a key question for you in that. You know what I mean? Because I agree. I think you're right, but it is only on specific things. To be fair, Trini, I would have included barbecue, but Berg was the first one to get 2 votes. Also, you can only have 4 options. Otherwise, I would have lobbed it in. Otherwise, I'd just put a full list out, you know. Flicked forward from Soufal. Kudus goes to try and bat for the head and misses it. James Ward-Prowse tries to nip it in. Ben Johnson gets it away and then plays it back stronger. Fabianski, it's a risky pass to find Aaron Cresswell. Under no pressure, just putting us under pressure. And Emerson can't get control of the ball. It's a throw-in. Just unnecessary there. Unnecessary stuff. Nice little cut inside to James Ward-Prowse. Looking for anything, can't find it. Instead, it goes back to Ben Johnson. Takes on Eze, beats him. We take that. Into Soufal, a little bit scary, but James Ward-Prowse collects it under mild pressure from Hughes, has to turn around and pass it backwards. And then a big boot forward. I'm not against the long ball. Just get it out, you know? Domino's, garlic and herb. Yeah, that's not for me. It's personally liquor. The Imperance, barbecue sauce is king. Ball forward, Mateta gets control, flicks it over the head of James Ward-Prowse. Then comes away from the ball under no particular pressure, but still. Mustard, is mustard a sauce? You know? Is mustard a sauce? Because in my head, I feel like mustard is more of like a... No, it must be a sauce. I'm just seeing it more like a Marmite in my head for some reason, but it must be a sauce. Elise strides forward, plays it out wide to Mitchell. Hughes then plays it across. Crystal Palace looking to try and change their vector of attack here. Mateta with a drop and run doesn't work out for them and they just decide to carry on with it. Pull ball across and we win the throw in. Nicely done. Nicely done. Not really used like a sauce. Yeah. Yes. Chick-fil-A sauce. Listen, Wally, I can't speak to it. I've never had a Chick-fil-A. But it's chicken, so I'd probably like it. Cresswell strides forward. Offside flag raised. Favorite condiment? If you'd count it as a condiment, I don't know, but ketchup is king for me. Ketchup is king for me. I hope you're saying ketchup is overrated. See, here's the thing. I wouldn't even necessarily say ketchup is underrated or overrated. I could potentially make a case for it being overrated, but I like it more than most. In the old days, I don't remember league games clashing with FA Cup semis. Bruv, I don't know how any of that crap works anymore. I think it's dumb, but what are you gonna do? I hate the way football schedules and televised and all that nonsense works. I just despise it with a passion. We should be able to watch games better. They should be free. I have so many opinions on the way that all that stuff works. It just sucks. Cresswell throws to Paqueta, who's touches Paul, goes back to Cresswell, he flicks it forward instead. Bit of head tennis ensues from both sides. James Ward-Prowse does well to take it around Eze there. And then again, under pressure, Zuma there manages to turn his man. Kudus first time pass back to James Ward-Prowse, who's dropped into that back line to help facilitate the balls forward. Vladimir Sufal just crowded out there, but wins a throw-in regardless. Charlie changed the clock. I need to know when it's all over. No, the clock's correct. The clock. Well, I mean, it's a second ahead of where I am. There you go. Now it's correct to where I am. The clock's correct to where I am. Well, 2 men down there, just outside the box. Two men down. Wharton's one of them, and I don't know who the other one is for West Ham. Emerson. There was a clash, and they both stayed down. Emerson's rubbing his knee. I think it was maybe just a clash between the two. I don't think it's necessarily much more serious than that. Emerson cuts inside. Yeah, just a little bit of a clatter. A little bit of a clatter between him and Wharton. Emerson's back up and moving fine. If anything, you could have argued a free kick for us, but yeah, no. Haley, yeah, your clock probably would be Haley because I'm having to watch in a way that's not useful, you know, and then I have to stream it online, so I'm slightly behind. Which is a shame, but it is the way it is. That's why everyone in the chat knows if there's a goal before usually I do, you know? It's a matter of culture, Mortal Kombat, Soul Calibur, Street Fighter Tekken. Okay. I don't know if I'll make it a poll, because I feel like not everyone can get involved with this. However, Richard's come through with Mortal Kombat, obviously Scorpion, let's go. There's something else down here. Where is it? Which one has the jiggle mechanics? That's Soul Calibur. Soul Calibur goes a bit mad on that, we can't lie. Trini's coming through with Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Soul Calibur, Street Fighter 4th. Street Fighter 4th is bold from Trini. I feel like I see the mug. It's one of ours. I don't know if we sell it anymore because obviously it has Declan Rice and Mark Noble on it. But it's a Charlie Walsh original. Again, apart from the actual illustration, which is someone else, but everything else is me. I would say there's going to be a sub for Crystal Palace here, by the way. Wharton's going to come off, and I don't know who's going to come on in his place, but we'll see. I'm trying to think it through, Collingwood. I would say for me, personally, Tekken first. Tekken, Street Fighter, Soul Calibur, Mortal Kombat. But I feel like that's harsh on Mortal Kombat. I love Tekken. Tekken 3, especially, the best one, in my opinion. Incredible soundtrack. Then I would say Street Fighter. And I feel like most people would put Street Fighter top, but I put Street Fighter second. And then after that, it just has to be a case of which ones do I play the most. And so it'd be Soul Calibur and then Mortal Kombat. But I feel like that's harsh. Ahmad has come on for what's his name, Wharton. Oh, there's a bit of turn. Takes on Johnson, tries to beat him. Johnson does well just to hold him off there. Plays it back across to Hamada. Paqueta does well. Picks up the ball, plays it out nicely to Mohamed Kudus. This is really nice work. There's so many Crystal Palace shirts back though. Kudus looks to try and cut inside and shoot early. Takes a deflection off Will Hughes. Sofal is there, but reduces his option with a weird run. James Ward-Prowse picks up the ball back to Mohamed Kudus. Finds Johnson. It was a nice idea for a counter-attack, but it was just too far away. And now we've gone all the way back. And I hate to use the word. Oh, no, we've gone back. It's not quite horseshoe yet. It's not quite horseshoe times yet. Yes, Trini, yes. I'm here for it. Elise, nice tackle from Edson Alvarez there. Just managed to nip in there. Taking two to go. I respect it. Free for me, but I can respect it. I can respect it. I like the vibes of Street Fighter. I can't get. See, I say okay, fair. I can agree with you there. What I would say is Marvel vs. Capcom 2, New Age of Heroes. That's what I would say. That's what I would put in there. You know. And in that, I use Ryu as one of my 3 in my team. So, but I'm better with Ryu in that than I am with Ryu in Street Fighter, which is sort of all over the shop, but still, Alvarez does well to take it past his man. A little bit lucky to do it, but he charges forward, tries to find James Ward-Prowse. The pass is poor, deflects off James Ward-Prowse, and Sufal tries to swing for it. Mitchell comes away. Hughes plays it into Eze. He's got Elise alongside him. Mateta's also there. He's just wandering through. Oh my god, nutmegs Kurt Zuma and Mateta makes it 5. That was maybe the most. It's 5-1. I'm not reacting that much because I really don't care at this point. That was maybe the most egregious example I've seen of them just playing through us. Kurt Zuma, Eze stands next to him and then just passes the ball through Kurt Zuma's legs in such a basic fashion. And Mateta's just standing behind him. At no point does anyone even consider defending. Unbelievable. How is Mateta in that much space? How? He stood behind the defense. Incredible. Cresswell's too busy holding off Elise. Kurt Zuma's one-on-one with Eze. And Mateta's just stood there. And there's no cover. Okay, sure, yeah, whatever. 5-1. Sure, whatever. Unbelievable. Genuinely incredible. The subs weren't defensive. I know everyone's going to disagree with me on this. The subs categorically weren't defensive for me. The subs were to try and gain more control of the game, but I don't think it was a defensive sub. You could maybe make an argument about moving 3 at the back to try and just directly combat a front 3, but I know everyone's going to disagree with me on this, but I don't think they were defensive subs. Now again, they were incorrect subs, as I said at the time. I wouldn't have made them myself, but there you go. But again, I say that knowing everyone will disagree with me, and that's fine. That's fine. Amada, that's a yellow card for a wild lunge in on James Ward-Prowse. Heavy touch and misses it. Edouard and Jordan Ayew are coming on, my boy. No Jeffrey Schlupp, though. Fuming. Jordan Ayew almost was destroying his manager, Oliver Glasner there. Be interested to see who the subs are for. At this point, you just take what you can find out of interest. Just realised I completely forgot to change the title and thumbnail to watch along, but there we go. That's just the way we're going today. It's just one of those days, in the words of Limp Bizkit, you know? So, when you don't want to wake up, everything is flubbed, everybody sucks, and you don't want to justify ripping someone's head off. Anyway. It's just one of those days. Don't forget about the poll. You can have a look at the poll. Let's do a new poll. All right, fine. Let's end this one, and we'll do another one because again, it's all we got at this point. Almost 500 people voted. 10% of people said burger sauce. 21% of people said mayonnaise. I would have expected that to be higher, Brown sauce got 38, and then ketchup, strong in there, 38%. Strong. You got to respect it. Quick, eat 10 bells. MC, I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me. I also don't think I have 10, to be fair. I don't know. How many did you get in a nest? Who knows? Oh, no, Elisa is going to be coming off. Ayu and Mateta coming off. Sorry, Ayu and Edouard coming on for Mateta and Elise. Stream's crashing. Do I bother trying to find anyone? Wax and everything. I'm not eating the wax, bruv. There is never a situation in which I will eat the wax. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. Right, let's try and find a... Let's try and get this to work. Just gonna sit here and refresh for a bit. What's the new poll? What do you reckon? New poll? What we vibing? There we go. We're back. We're back. It's about 10 seconds behind. That's fine. There we go. Back in time. Back in time. If West Ham were in the Champions League final, would you eat the wax? No. No. I'd probably break out the pizza, but I ain't eating the wax. You know? Let's not F about. So let's not F about wipe the IV drip out and mainline that baby bus straight into your veins. We need a goal. Sebastian, I like the idea. It sounds medically dubious, but I like it. I like it. Seen the word ings in chat. Seen the word ings in chat. Domino's Pizza Hut, Pizza Prep, John M. Collingwood coming through again. That's a strong one. That's a strong. We're going in. M. Collingwood, the Atlas of Analytics, coming through once again. Choose one. Let's get serious about this. Domino's. Pizza Hut. Papa John's. And then Pizza. Was it Pizza Express was the final one? I think. Yeah. That's a big one. That's a strong one. I can respect that. And I'd actually be interested in the results here because I have an opinion, but I'm not going to say anything. I want to know what's going on. Ball out wide, looking for Mikel Antonio. It's a nice first touch, but it's a bit wonky. Mile flashpoint between him and not sure who it was, but it's a nice idea. But again, just a little bit, you know. Edouard finds Eze, trying to play their way for it. Poor opportunity there. Ayu almost getting 6. Ball once again just played very calmly and nicely in round the back from Edouard. The run was nice, but Soufal covers it nicely that time. Dean, that is the craziest thing I've ever seen Dean say in my life. Madness. I can respect a rogue opinion like that, but wild. Can we at least have one about the players' club or fixtures? Here's the thing, Stuart. I'm not against it. I just feel like what's the point a little bit. I'm not against it. Maybe the next one, if there's one out there. Like, it's like, for example, it's like the Moyes in out stuff. It's like, it's just pointless. There's no, like, at this point, it's like, we might as well just have a nice time. We all have to endure this. Oh God, Calvin Phillips is coming on. We all have to endure this awfulness. We might as well have a vibe, you know? We could do. I'm not against it. It depends what it is. Danny Ings and Calvin Phillips going to come on. Oh my Lord. Can this get any worse? Sufal, under pressure, being pressed by two separate people, ends up just having to play it into the only person he could, which was Fabianski. And Fabianski comes out, manages to stop it as quickly as possible. But Antonio in round the back. Oh, he can't get a touch across to your boy Lucas Paqueta. Pizza Hut for the base, Domino's for the barbecue sauce. Tell you what, Geo would respect that opinion. He loves a bit of barbecue. If there's a barbecue sauce pizza, he's here for it. Alvarez and Antonio coming off. So 2 straight swaps. Yeah, we've given up at this point. We've got a double pivot of Phillips and Ward-Prowse. We've given up at this point. If you're doing straight swaps, then there's literally no point. Yeah. Here's what I'd say, Dean, about the Calvin Phillips thing, right? I had hope for Phillips when he first joined. And I think he solved an issue that we had. The problem is that relied on him being all right. And he has been nothing short of unbelievably woeful. And the thing is before the European games, I had the stance of, well, maybe we've just got to power through of him, try and get him back into his rhythm of playing and trying to sort of, you know, wipe off the rust and find a little bit that Phillips that used to exist and, you know, do something. And it was probably naive a little bit, but it was with the hope that something would come good of it, because when the European fixtures arrived and we were gonna have to rotate, he would become very, very needed to try and keep that sort of back line, that midfield, defensive midfield area as fresh as possible. And it just went completely awfully. So when it came to this game, and in the pre-show, in the build-up, we were talking about it, and I almost felt like saying when it was sort of Geo Gonzo were talking a little bit about Phillips, and I was listening. Ben Johnson does really well to find Mohamed Kudus, who takes poor touches, and it's a good tackle from Richards, and it's going to be a corner. Richards does really well. Ben Johnson does brilliantly there. Kudus again. Ben Johnson just picks up the ball from defence, runs through literally 4 or 5 Crystal Palace players, takes it all the way from our area to theirs, plays the ball through to Kudus, whose just touches are very heavy, and we've been a corner from it, so it's fine. But when they were talking about it earlier, and they were talking about Phillips coming on or whatever, I almost felt like saying, do you know what? There's no point in bringing Phillips on now. Not because of how bad he is, but just because there's no upside to him coming on now. We know he's not staying. We know he's not useful for rotation purposes anymore, because we're back down to 1 game a week. So there was no point in him coming on, and I'm almost shocked to see him come on, because there's literally no point in him coming on. But, you know, we're here now. Okay, Hart. Here's what I'll say. Just because I know a couple of people were talking about it, I'll just say this very quickly just to get out of the way. That's not what I meant. What I meant was, I think it's pointless talking about it in the motions of a specific game, because everything changes and hinges on that. In the same way that whenever an opposition goes 1-0, 2-0 up against us, and people will say, where are all the Moyes in people now? Or the same way of if West Ham go 1 or 2-0 up, people will write, where are all the Moyes outers now? When you talk about it in the moment of matches, it kind of is pointless because it's so dependent on what's going on in that moment that it's just needless. There's no interesting conversation to be had in that moment because it's all just sort of about the chaos of everything, right? I am one of the most me and Geo have a very similar stance, right? Geo says this a lot. It's a Geo phrase. Pizza Go-Go is a strong shout, Rob. It's greasy, but I love it. Here's what me and Geo says this a lot, and I 100% agree with him, and I take that stance as well. It's like, you have your opinions, and that's fine. But when you're presented with new information, you reassess your opinions. And I, for example, I did not want David Moyes to come back. Even the first 6 months David Moyes came back, I was heavily against him. One of the more vocal people to be against David Moyes at that point on West Ham YouTube, right? And I admitted over a while that I was wrong because he proved me wrong in many different things. In this instance, I don't think it's useful to talk about whether Moyes is in or out in this exact moment because we're losing 5-1. It's stupid to have a conversation about it right now in this second. Tomorrow it'll be less stupid to have that conversation because you're no longer just in the moment of the match. We've got 10 minutes to go in this match, 12 minutes plus stoppage time or whatever. Not to say that if West Ham are going to score 4 and draw, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is your view is always predicated on what you're watching in that moment. And if you're in the middle of the match, then it's sort of so visceral that having a conversation about it is just silly. At some point, I'm thinking about probably doing a video about Moyes because realistically, like, it's kind of the time to start having conversations about it. End of the season, we've got nothing really to play for at this point. So it starts to have a more interesting conversation about it. And so maybe I'll do a video about it. But in the watch-along moments, there's literally no point talking about it because we're in the middle of a match, you know? We're in the middle of a match. Did someone just say they won match bingo, by the way? And I hope that sort of makes sense. Eze, that should be 6. Eze, that's poor. Did someone say they won match bingo? I'm trying to scroll up and find it. Where is it? I can't find it, but I'm pretty certain someone in the chat said they won match bingo. If they did, congratulations. Hope you enjoy your winnings. I yet again have not. Fuming. Will Hughes coming off for Crystal Palace now? Is Eze coming off as well? Because we're seeing Eze highlights, which is usually what it feels like is going to be. I hope what I said there makes sense, Ionix. But I understand, like, the need to talk about it in the moment because that's when it feels most visceral. So I understand the want to talk about it, but just my natural... Yeah, Eze's coming off as well. My natural state is in those moments where, like, it's to stop and to think and to take a step back. And I don't ever enjoy saying things that... I don't ever enjoy saying things I haven't deeply thought through, and I don't like reacting in the moment because of that. I hope that sort of makes sense, although I think it's probably a bit confused. Eze and Hughes coming off for Crystal Palace for my boy Jeffrey Schlupp and Ryan World. Who cares? Jeffrey Schlupp's here, right? Hang on. Right, Schlupp and Hughes for Ryan World. Oh, hell yeah. Jeffrey Schlupp's here, ladies and gentlemen. We're screwed. End the stream now. What's your favourite WrestleMania match? Honestly, Bailey. I loved that match. And I'm a huge Bailey mark, so that's probably why. But can we just talk about how the fact it's so annoying? I've got one line. I've got 2 lines, but they've already been claimed. Oh, I think someone's won a full house. So opportunity for Ayew, dribbles his way through. Jesus Christ, Kurt Zuma just sticks his foot away. Hit across the goal. Still bouncing back. I think someone's just won. I think someone's won a full house because their name seems to be West Ham based. If you're in the chat, you've won a full house. Congratulations. Ball back across the box. Can't quite make it work. Mitchell at the far side volleys it thankfully over. And I think both full houses have been claimed. So congratulations. It's annoying. I've got one line. I've got 2 lines. Annoying. Very, very annoying. I disagree strongly about applying pressure. I think that applying pressure from our side doesn't exist. I think I think about these things for a long time as well. I have to do videos about it, right? Like we sit and we do videos, and it's not just the public facing ones either. You know, it's not just this. It's not just the watch along or the build up or the review. We all do. It's not all the public videos. We do all the Patreon videos. Like I host several shows on there. Like I'm always constantly sort of like going through all this stuff in my head. And in those moments, that's the time to talk about it. But if, for example, I hated, how do I word this? I just think when you're in the moment of something that's going to frustrate you, that's the time you're most likely to react negatively. Like, or react in a way that you wouldn't usually react. And so my gut instinct is always to stop and to my gut reaction is always to stop. Paqueta looking for Mohamed Kudus, poorly done, instantly cut out from Richards. Instantly, you know, think about it from. That's not to say I haven't thought about it previously, but it's to say that in the moments when you're more likely to react is the moments where I'm more likely to stop and to think about things, which is, I think, both a strength and a weakness. Because there are times where I should probably have reacted where I haven't reacted, and I'm not talking about in football. I'm talking about in life. But yeah, that's why. And that's why I don't want to talk about it during matches, because I think it's just ultimately you're in the moment, you know what I mean? Is there a fast forward button? I miss. Went for a Mackey's. What did I miss? Not much. What do you eat for McDonald's though? This is more important. Cornet's about to be coming on, by the way. Listen. No pizza is designed to sweat in its own steam in a cardboard box, and none of the fast food pizza houses, they all taste crap. Do you know what? I might disagree with your stance on they all taste crap, but I can respect someone who has a precision about their pizza. I love that. I'm here for it. Kudus is coming off for Cornet. To be honest, when we brought on Ings and when the Ings and Phillips ones were straight swapped, I knew at this point we weren't going to do anything. Not that I had any hope we were going to do anything before then, but like once you're doing straight swaps in a situation like this, what's the point? Hooked it back across Crystal Palace. Oh, James, good to see you, by the way. I live near New Haven, the pizza capital of America. Unbelievably good pizza. I'm very jealous, James. Love that. We've had more shots in this than we had against Bayer Leverkusen away, if that helps. Stop by, we'll get you something. Listen, if I'm ever in the area, you best believe. I didn't know that's what the pizza capital was, to be fair. I would be big here for it. I love pizza. My true answer to the poll is any pizza is good pizza in Charlie Walsh's world. In Charlie Walsh's very lack of what's the one I'm looking for? He just wants it all. Paqueta's down off the pitch, or is it Emerson? I think it's Emerson. I don't know. Listen, I don't mind talking about it at all. Genuinely, I don't mind. Let me put it to you this way. First of all, thank you, very kind. Disagree that I'm good. I hate everything I do, but I appreciate it. Secondly, like when you said it and then you responded, I think it comes across very clear that you're fine with the talk as opposed to, do you know what I mean? If someone said it and then I said something and you came back with like a punch and it's a different scenario, do you know what I mean? I've got no problems with it at all, Half. Don't worry about it. There's no ill will, no aggro at all. And I don't even have ill will against people who want to talk about it in a more aggravated manner. It's just I think you understand. I don't need to explain it anymore. I think you understand. And yeah, just to be clear, no stress whatsoever, bro. None whatsoever. Crystal Palace passing the ball around them. Emerson is still down off the pitch. He's getting He's getting attention as the game continues. West Ham down to 10 men. Ball played forward, looking to spin. Jeffrey Schlupp, what a man. And then his pass back to Tariq Mitchell. Mitchell flops it. Not interested. Not interested. Be careful what pizza you wish for. Listen, as someone who... Here's a story about how... Here's a quick story about how unbothered about specifics of pizza I am. There's a place near me that does incredibly cheap pizza. It's a chicken shop, right? It doesn't do this anymore. But it used to do like £8. You'd get a 15-inch pizza, 4 toppings, wedges, and a 2-litre bottle of whatever drink you want from the shop. Right? I got that. I used to get that quite frequently. I got food poisoning from it once. And I'm not going to lie, I went back the week after. No stress from Charlie Walsh. You know what I mean? I am not fussed about it at all. I just like pizza. I just like pizza. I just like pizza. West Ham, Crystal Palace are getting very lackadaisical with their passing around the back, by the way. Getting very lackadaisical with their passing around the back. Trying to refresh the old match bingo. West Ham big in a deep horseshoe. Big boot from Fabianski. Guess what I want? Just big boot forwards. I mean, we don't have Antonio there. Cornet jumps up back. Henson. It's 5-2. Do you know what? Is that the worst goal of the day? Is that the most embarrassing goal to concede in the day? It feels it. It's a big boot from Fabianski all the way from the back. It bounced. Cornet tries to battle for it, loses out on the head. Tariq Mitchell just tries to play it back to Henderson under no pressure, who just... What the hell does he do? Cornet's rushing towards him, but he's not even that close to him. There's no pressure. He just completely fails to control it, and it rolls past him and into the net. It's an own goal. Oh, we might through again. No, we're not through. It's cut out. That is in... Oh my... Wait, hang on. Yeah, big time, Foxes. Big time. That might be the worst goal of the day. 100%. 100%, Nathan. Unbelievable. Well, 5-2. I can't believe that. That is awful. Holy hell. We've conceded a lot of disgracefully bad goals today. Somehow... They've managed to even outdo us in those things. Incredible. Incredible. It was the plan all along. That's what he wanted. It's that classic late rush we all talk about, you know what I mean? Unbelievable. Completely and utterly unbelievable. Oh. They managed to outdo us in an attacking sense, outdo us in a defensive sense, and also outdo us in an old goal sense. It's been a complete outdoing from us. We've been done in here. From all angles. Unbelievable. That's incredible. I don't know how that's happened. Johnson. He's done well since coming on, Johnson, to be honest with you. I think maybe for their 5th. Yeah, it'd be 5th, wouldn't it? Maybe I'd need to relook at it and give question marks to him to that. But in general... He's probably been the most impactful sub. Bele. Mainly because he did that one big run that one time. I mean, it's stemming with faint praise if we're being honest about it, but you know. Emerson looking to try and charge after Klein there. Forces it out for a throw. That's so funny. I can't believe that's so funny. Paqueta looking to try and wiggle his way through. Drops out. The Outdoing sounds like a horror movie. Peter, yeah, bang on. A terrible horror movie that I'm directing right now. So many jokes I could make, so little time. So little time. Big boot from Henderson. Love that. He swung around, spun. It's very exciting. It's very exciting. Paqueta with the foul on someone in the middle of the park. Radeveld. Does Danny enjoyed his day? It's a good question. Danny, I've accidentally opened up EA Play. Danny, how'd you feel, mate? Negative. He says negative. He feels bad. He says he's not enjoyed his day. He said he wish he hadn't invited me to North Idaho because he wouldn't have to put on the shirt and just be sad. And I can't disagree. Oh, itchy nose. Twitter's been very entertaining for lots of people. I can imagine Joshua. All over the top. Oh, Maxwell Cornet's in behind. Maxwell Cornet! Save from Dean Henderson. Maxwell Cornet out of nowhere gets in behind. Commentator just said he thought he was offside, as did we all. He's sort of drifting off Richards. I tell you what, Phillips, it's a nice ball over the top from Phillips. And Cornet looks somehow maybe just onside. It's very close. Shot towards the back post. Should be 3. If he scored that, we would have won this game. If he scored that, he would have won this game. Oh, big. Big. Listen. He's unreal. He's dynamic. He's technically on the ball. He just played the ball over, Paul, to Cornet for that chance that Cornet missed. He just played it over there. Has he done anything past that? Honestly, I don't know. But he did do that. He did do that. Anderson does well to dribble past his man and then drops out. It's 6 minutes of additional time. It's going to be up in a minute. Commentator just talking about how poor Paqueta has been. Honestly, are we going to miss him? That's an insane statement. We're obviously going to miss him. But at the same time, I'm looking forward to next season, you know? Because we're going to have half a new team. We're probably going to have a new manager. We're probably, like I say, we're probably going to have at least half a new squad. It's going to feel brand new. I'm excited for it. On match of the day, they'll blank out all the West Ham players. Celtic, I don't think they need to, mate. I can't lie to you. I don't think they need to. They've barely played at all anyway. They've barely existed. It's very good. It's very good, Ionix. Caught offside rightly nearly every time. Very solid. Very solid. Let's end the poll before the match ends. I want to know final scores on this pizza poll. Of the almost 600 people who voted, 14% said Pizza Express. It's had bad rap since stuff that I shouldn't mention. Papa John's, 17%. Pizza Hut, 26%. And a dominating from Domino's, 42%. Yeah. Here's the thing. I agree. I would go Domino's every time. I think Pizza Express has been done in there, for being honest about it. I think it's been done in there. Pizza Express is good. But I would have put Pizza Express maybe second. There is the full-time whistle. But Domino's, solid. You have to respect it. I would probably say it first as well. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's done. It's done. The match is over. 5-2 to Crystal Palace is the end result. Insane. Completely insane. One of the worst performances I've seen defensively from us. Not a single player who I think comes out of it really smelling of roses, apart from potentially even Ben Johnson, and even then I have to double check. A mess of just humanity, of no defending. Yeah, don't know what else to say. 5-2. Geo will be live in a minute to do a full live match review. To go through it all. Which, dear Lord, go and support him, because imagine having to do a live match review of that. It couldn't be me. I mean, I've just done this, so I guess it could be me. But at the same time, could not be me. So go. I'm going to spam the link now. Go head over there, get involved, give your full opinions there, but also like the video because it will help Geo out massively. If you could go over there, smash a like button, and get involved in the chat because I suspect it's going to be a heated one. But thank you everyone for watching. Massively appreciate it. We'll be back for the next match, whatever that is, whenever that is. And we'll be back for our full match day suite. But yeah, appreciate you all. Thank you all for joining and for keeping me company through what was a very stressed time. And just at the end, thank you to Leon with the 199. Appreciate you. Absolutely. Appreciate everyone. Go over to Geo's video now. See ya. Bye.